Love baking? You can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye! Make way for the baddin of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the Lord of the Loaves, Prime Member Dave!
Yeah, hi?
Shop great deals this Prime Day, July 8th through the 11th.
Longer days mean longer rides. Make sure your bike, your ATV, your side-by-side, even your golf cart are the best around. From sound station and security, we've got custom stereo systems, custom speakers, even video and LED lighting options for your bike, your ATV, and even your golf cart. Look the coolest on the road or at the lake, just tooling around. All available with installation from sound station and security, with 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Is going to your local bar the worst part of your day? The bartender ignores you, mediocre food, warm beer? Then why go there? Take 5 minutes and drop in at Sharky's, where they'll give you a free evaluation, and you can learn about all the bars that you shouldn't go to. Sharky's has helped thousands find the right bar to hang at. What are you waiting for? Sharky's evaluation could be the cure to the worst part of your day. Change your bar, change your life. Sharky's, 5800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
The next disaster is coming. Make a plan. Keep extra medication on hand. Make copies of important documents. Stay informed and be ready. Learn more at americares.org/send-us-in.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Happy first day of summer. Not as hot, as a matter of fact. Really no heat index for today. Highs will be in the low 90s, but feeling like low 90s. 70 overnight tonight, and tomorrow's high 93. Also fairly low humidity. That all changes Sunday, and especially Monday and Tuesday. The humidity rushes back in. We have weather alert days for Monday and Tuesday for extreme heat.
Weather report brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 42 points to 42,129.
Bryce in the pocket, steps up, eludes the rush, throws end zone, caught, Adam Thielen, touchdown!
He'll toss it that way to Hampton, and he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Bailey, shotgun, snap left hash his QB keeper, dives forward, touchdown. Bailey is third of the night.
Cooper faces up with 5 and 4, drives Davis, spins, waiting, fades away, and hits!
Game over! Series over! Sebastian!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Not Tim Donnelly today. Paul Lyhander with you. I work a little double duty. Had the morning shift and the afternoon shift. Tim is off today. He'll be back on Monday. Don't worry for those of you who are worried. But for those of you who aren't worried and just need to be entertained this afternoon, you are in luck. It is myself, Paul Lyhander, alongside Max Gorn. Max is back producing again for yet another afternoon. He's been here all damn week, folks. All damn week. Don't just nod, Max. You have to say, yes, I've been here all damn week.
Yes, I have been here all damn week, but I'm not upset about it.
Okay, well, that's good. That's a good thing. We want you here. We want to have you around here. You've got your Carolina Hurricane stuff on, which is great. I've got my, I feel like I'm themed up to the afternoon with Tim's graphics and with the Carolina Hurricanes as well, although I'm wearing a little bit more baseball gear today. I've got my my Raleigh 919 hat on, for those of you familiar with that. I'm all behind it. We'll talk baseball all day to the Triangle. Be one of the biggest fans of that and be an advocate for it. I'm not sure financially if it'll ever work, but I will cheer for it once it gets moving, and if it crosses the finish line, all I can say, I was there when it all happened. Plus, I have my Cerveza baseball shirt on as well, which, we're in summer, right? Is today the first full day of summer? Or is it like the half day of summer?
I think it's the 20th or the 21st, but
right.
I never know like which one it's actually supposed to be.
So
I guess it depends on the year.
Right, it's like the longest day, but not the longest day.
There's also like the type of calendar where the first day of the month is the start of the season. So summer would have started June 1st.
That makes no sense.
Well, it makes sense in theory, right? 'Cause spring starts in March 1st.
In theory.
Summer, June 1st, fall, September 1st, and then winter, December 1st.
I thought it was always like the 20th and the 21st.
No, it is.
Right?
I don't remember what the name of this other calendar is, but that one makes a lot more sense to me.
What weird calendar is that? Wow,
I'll have to do some research. I swear this is a thing where there's a version where the seasons start on the first day of the
Max swears this is a thing. All right, we swear that we need to keep you entertained for the next 3 hours, and we will do our darndest to do so. Again, Tim Donnelly off today, Paul Eihander in for Tim. It is still The Drive with Tim Donnelly. Hi, everybody online. Hi, everybody out there. All right, let's get you the 3 biggest stories of the day, shall we? It's time for the Big 3 at 3, and the big story that trickled across our news wires roughly 3 hours ago is that the Carolina Hurricanes have made their first official move of the offseason. Yes, it doesn't matter if you speculate who is leaving, who is coming, who is staying, and who is going, but the Carolina Hurricanes today have signed Eric Robinson to a 4-year contract extension. He was getting ready to head out the door, folks. He was on his way out the door, and Eric Tilsky said, "Not so fast. Not on my watch." 14 goals, 18 assists in 82 regular season games. How many games in a regular season, Max, for the NHL?
82.
82. So he played in every game. And when you play in every game, that shows you a couple things. 1, durability. 2, you have the trust of Rod and understand the system. And 3, you probably were paying or playing for a lot less than you were worth. And so Eric Robinson earned a 4-year contract extension today. The deal pays him $1.7 million through the 2028-29 campaign. Again, 14 goals, 18 helpers in 82 regular season games, all career highs. And was in the Stanley Cup playoff as well with a goal and 2 assists as well. So for a guy who spent a lot of time in Columbus, a little bit of time in Buffalo, and a full season here in Carolina, he now has himself some stability. The team, to be fair, and I talked about this morning during Next Up, and we'll chop it up here in about 10 minutes a little bit deeper, where the higher salary cap that the NHL is absorbing, the NHL teams will be absorbing come July 1st, meant teams had to spend more money, which was going to reset the bar for how much you were going to pay players, whether they are top-line players or whether they are fourth-line players, wherever they're at, your value was going to go up no matter what. The end is coming for the $800,000, $850,000, $900,000 contract. $1 million will most likely be the minimum. You will see guys coming in under that. That will be out of the fact that nobody else wanted to sign them. That is the only reason those guys should be taking that kind of money. And when I talk about an Eric Robinson, if you're looking for comps, the comp would be Christian Dvorak of Montreal. If you're not familiar with hockey and you're not that deep into hockey and you're saying, oh, no more hockey, Paul, please, I'm going to give you a little bit of an education. Christian Dvorak is pretty much Eric Robinson, but played for the Montreal Canadiens. Size, shot style, and statistics. Christian Dvorak last season made $4.5 million a year, putting up the same stats Eric Robinson put up for $800K. So the Carolina Hurricanes got themselves a good financial deal, which should make ownership very happy. It's a credit to Eric Tulsky for doing his homework, and certainly for Eric Robinson, who will now be here for 4 years. And I guarantee you that if he doesn't have his jersey, Max will probably go out and buy one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only current jersey I have right now is Aho. I think I have the 25th anniversary. But, I mean, if Robinson puts up Aho numbers, I would definitely be open to that.
No, you just buy it. You buy it. like the good blind faith Canes fan that you need to be.
Is there some room in the Capitol broadcasting budget for jersey collection?
No. Otherwise, I would have 8. All right, let's move on to number 2, shall we? Our number 2 top story of the afternoon is the speculation around the NHL when it comes to star players. And overnight, Sam Bennett had a Wolf of Wall Street moment in which he decided, you know what, with the Florida Panthers, the Stanley Cup champions, by the way, well, you can hear it from his own mouth.
Everyone, quiet. I hear what you're saying. I don't have much to say. If you have one thing to say.
Now, according to NHL insiders, his agent says there's no deal done yet. But
they also flashed 8 more years up on the screen behind him.
They did. They
had that ready to go.
So, whoever you want to believe, and to be honest, I would believe the player. The player clearly wants to stay. Sam Bennett ain't going anywhere. Now, that doesn't mean that there's stability when it comes to the NHL superstardom. Connor McDavid, Connor McJesus of the Edmonton Oilers, one of the fastest human skaters on the planet, had his exit interview less than 24 hours ago and told the media that he has yet to make a decision about whether he wants to come back. Now, I say this, he's not a free agent yet. He is going, though, into a contract year in which he will most likely become the highest paid player in the NHL. Right now, he is nearly one of them. But next time this comes back around, he could be making the most money in the NHL after next season. But Connor McDavid, getting up the hopes of every NHL general manager who's staring at $20 to $30 million in salary cap space, said this about his future with Edmonton.
It's only been a couple days since the season ended. Take some time to regroup. Talk to my agent a little bit and family and all that, and make some decisions whenever that time comes. But there's no rush on anything like that.
No rush. No rush whatsoever to make any decisions whatsoever. He is still under contract, but there could be an extension July 1. Maybe it's just sitting there on the table and they're ready to do so. Edmonton is not in a salary cap strap position this year, but next year they're going to have to make some decisions. Their team only gets older, and their goaltending still is, as I have Spanish on my shirt right now, I will use a Spanish word for it. Their goaltending is basura. Flaming basura. All right, our number 3 top story is the fact that we will have a Game 7. A Game 7, one of those glorious Game 7s in the NBA Finals. The World Championship will be decided with one game in Oklahoma City on Sunday night. After last night, the Indiana Pacers just put a beating on the Oklahoma City Thunder. At one point, up 30 points in this basketball game. It was comfort food. It was comfort food for those of you who were like, I need to go home early. I want to go to bed early. It totally worked for you. The Indiana Pacers get a balanced attack in an imbalanced performance from the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, Rick Carlisle talks about dreams and hopes, the Indiana Pacers head coach, playing in Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
One game. I mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, this is what you dream about growing up, this kind of opportunity. It's a very difficult place to play. We know that. But the opportunity to play in a game like this is a great honor and a great privilege.
Get another great performance from Pascal Siakam. And thank you, Pascal Siakam, for that one extra assist, which put you over 30 points, rebounds, and assists, which helped me take my parlay last night. Bless you, Pascal Siakam. Bless you, TJ McConnell. But damn you, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which means now I have to watch basketball on Sunday night and not put my kids to bed on time once again. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, Oklahoma City Thunder, on playing in a Game 7. Drama!
It's one game for everything you ever dreamed of. If you win it, you get everything. If you lose it, you get nothing. It's that simple.
Are you sensing any differences in the difficulty of closing out a finals versus closing out any other playoff series?
No, I see it as the same thing. Like, in round 2, if we had lost, I would have been just as disappointed. We would have went home and our season would have been over. And if we lose, the season's over in the wrong way. So either way, I would have been extremely disappointed. So I don't think it's much different.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is going to have 40 points on Sunday night.
Yeah,
40.
And it's all going to be drive to the rim, maybe not to the rim, drive to the paint, step back, elbow jumper.
He hits every one of them. He hits every one of them, even with some hand in his face. And last night, SGA, Oklahoma City, they did not quit. They got outplayed. They didn't quit in that basketball game. They got outplayed in that basketball game. And Indiana came out juiced, and they came out fiery, and they were absolutely ready to roll when it came to last night's Game 6. So we have a deciding Game 7, the first one in many, many, many years. We love Game 7s. I haven't seen a Game 7. I've never been part of a Game 7 anywhere in my career. I've seen Game 3s. I've seen best-of-1 wild cards. I've seen winner-take-all 1 games, but never a Game 7. It takes such a haul, such a performance to equal out 2 teams at 3 games apiece. And to be able to go into a deciding Game 7 and have that Game 7 matchup is exciting. But I apologize to my family ahead of time. This is a preemptive strike when it comes to apologies. When I'm sitting on the couch on Sunday night and they're like, play with me. And I'm like, Dad needs to watch the game, kiddos. Maybe I could put it on my phone and play catch in the backyard or Frisbee or something. Spend some time with the dog.
You'll understand when you're older. It's Game 7.
It's Game 7. I made my kids watch the clincher against Washington, the Washington Capitals and the Carolina Hurricanes. I made sure that they were awake when that happened because it was just a really cool moment. And I go, guys, come in here. Come watch this. And I made them watch that with me. So that's where we have it. All right, there's your big 3 at 3 here. Tim Donnelly and The Drive here on 99.9 The Fan. Tim is out today. Paul Eihander in for Tim. We're just getting started, folks. The Carolina Hurricanes have signed Eric Robinson, making the first move on the chessboard of Eric Tulsky. But what else remains for him as he plays this grand game against the rest of the NHL franchises? That's coming up next. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
What sounds like a fun weekend? Hey, let's hit the beach. What does not sound like a fun weekend?
I know it's hot out, but we need to restain the deck. Put on your long sleeves and mosquito spray. I'm going to grab all the stuff.
Preserve your weekend, your home, and investment, and call Preserve Services instead. Our Preserve team excels in interior and exterior painting and home repairs. We're your one-stop shop in the Triangle for jobs you need done, but don't want to tackle. And get this, you don't pay a penny until the job's done. Schedule today at preserveservices.com.
NASCAR Prime is gearing up for the Tricky Triangle at Pocono.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
After 5 decades of racing tradition, it's clear that strategy is king at Pocono.
Finally, some separation between first, second, and third.
3 legendary turns, 3 unique approaches.
Wow, that's close.
Who will tame the Triangle this year? Don't miss the Cup Series at Pocono, streaming Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. NASCAR, it's on Prime.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. 'Cause I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Feel my flow, let me hear you feel my flow, yeah. Nice. Oh. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Paul Eihander in for Tim today. Max on the ones and the twos, spinning the tables. We are going to talk about summer music today because it is a Friday, and today allegedly is the first day, not the first day of summer by any means.
By the way, I did look
Did you
this
look it up? You did look it up. Sweet.
What I was referencing before was meteorological seasons.
What? Yeah, I know what that
it was
means.
something that came out of some sort of early international meteorology organization in the late 1700s.
Okay.
But I knew I'd heard of it before, where the seasons start on the first day of the month instead of the 20th.
Okay, well, listen, hey, no one, from moving forward, Max, no one will ever call you a liar.
Good. I was wondering for a second if that was just like a false memory, and I made that up completely.
That's right. We don't have to get in the whole hot dog a sandwich thing, right? We don't have to roll into that, do we? Okay, perfect. The Carolina Hurricanes have made their first chess move of the offseason. Eric Robinson, 4-year contract extension. Eric, a big 6'2" left-handed shot. Max, what are we doing? We have so many left-handed shots. It's Logan Stankoven and Seth Jarvis. Like, that's it. That's all we got.
I mean, there's a few out there on the market. There's definitely a few that have been rumored.
But it's lefties. It's all lefties. We have all
There's
lefties.
some righties they can go get.
I suppose.
There's some out there. Brock Besser, Nick Ehlers.
Yeah, Ehlers is going to hit the market.
Jason Robertson.
Jason Robertson. Yeah, but he's not a free agent. He has to be traded for.
This is true, but I'm just putting it out there.
Okay, well, listen. The more you say things out loud, the more it might happen. Like I said, I wish to win the Powerball. So let's just put that one out there too, right? I need a new car. My vehicle's 20 years old. The Canes make their first move of the offseason, and it is Eric Robinson, a guy that clearly won the trust of Rod Brind'Amour, clearly was a value buy when they picked him up, and continues to be so and will be so for the next 4 years. But what else does Eric Tulsky need to do with now? And no longer has $1.7 million of that big war chest, but he still has the 4th most salary cap space to work with in the NHL. What to do with the rest of it? Head coach Rod Brind'Amour talked with Adam Gold yesterday. And Adam, our Canes insider, for those of you who are still listening to us here on 99.9 The Fan, just came off the air 15 minutes ago and had a monster show. My goodness. He talked with Rod about having a little bit more gas when it came from the center position. 90 seconds you're going to need to pay attention to.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no secret there. We need a little more production. And you know, it really, you don't want to just boil it down to one player because that's not really fair. But, you know, there's an area, I think if we're talking, being realistic about, okay, we talked about Sveshk being a little bit better. And, you know, you might mention Natchez when he was with us. He was better, like when he came back, right? I think he led the league in scoring there for the first month or whatever. So, like that, there you go. And that's the kind of stuff we need. I think with what we're talking about, you know, Kotkaniemi, he's got to be on the score sheet if he's going to be in that role. So we have to get more than, you know, kind of, I think he had 1 goal in the last 35 games or something like that. You know, there's an area right there. Can he be better, right? Like that, he's going to have to be if that's taking these next steps. So, but it's not just him. There's other guys too. But I mean, I think you know, we made a nice trade and brought in Jankowski. He got better. Like he produced for us. Like, so you just don't know where it's going to come from. But there's certain positions you got to get it done, especially the role that you're in. So, you know, that's an area. You know, our power play's got to get better. I mean, it was good at times. It just has to be more consistent. And that's an area that, you know, if we can get that a little sharper, certainly that'll help. But there's you know, really you can go up and down the lineup. There's room. We have to be, you know, there's room to get better, I believe, and we have to if we want to, you know, make that next step.
And he says that because this team did not win a Stanley Cup. And you get to say those things when your team does not win a Stanley Cup. And Rod has said in the past, and recently during the exit interviews once the season concluded, following the loss to the eventual Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, that other franchises and other teams would be envious to be in this position. That I understand. But I believe Rod is also a realist. And Rod understands that without goal scoring and production from certain positions, which he has been very steadfast and very sturdy in his belief about having production from the center position. And it has been lacking. And they have tried a myriad of things. They did not try Marty Natchez at center. They passed over Marty Necas at center. He wasn't going to be the option. Like, if he was going to be the option, he would have been the option. He wasn't the option. They thought they had an option in Mikko Rantanen, and that didn't work out. It just didn't work out. We call it what it is. So, in terms of what Eric Tulsky has to do, Paul Leihander here in for Tim Donnelly in the drive, Max Gorin producing. In terms of what Eric Tulsky needs to do with this team, and everybody's got their own theories and wind-ups and whatnot, I think it will not be through free agency. That this team, if it wants to improve at the center position, it will have to be done via trade. And doing so via trade means you have to give up something. This is why they call it a trade. You have to give up something in return. And so you have to look up and down this roster, and maybe it's not something that happens immediately here. The hope is it would, so we, as myself, and Carolina Hurricanes fans, can get used to seeing a new face in this lineup. Because right now, what Eric Tulsky has to do between now and the start of the regular season, and he's got a lot of runway to do it, and we don't have the regular season schedule yet, just pump your brakes a bit. We won't see that for a few more weeks. Rumor has it we'll get it in early July. Between now and the start of the regular season, Eric Tulsky has to spend $2 million. He spent part of that on Eric Robinson and extending him. But for the Carolina Hurricanes to get to the floor of the NHL's spending limits, he has to spend another $2 million, of which he already has a full roster under contract. He really doesn't have to do a thing, but we all get the bit. This is not a joke. We're all in on it together. We know that this team needs help at that center position. We have so many wingers. We have 2 goaltenders that could be argued could use an upgrade as well. I don't think anyone will question that. No one should question that because neither guy is tied up long-term in Pyotr Kochetkov and Freddie Anderson. We're not talking about goaltending today, though. We're talking about how to improve at the center position. And what's available out there right now also isn't are we allowed to still call it the sexiest out there? I mean, is that a dated term at this point? When you say it's not a very sexy, unrestricted free agent class when it comes to what the Carolina Hurricanes can pick from? It's all, for the most part, they're all left-handed centers.
Yeah.
We don't have any right-handed. The last right-handed center was Jack Drury. Jack Drury no longer plays for this team. You know what? Go deal for Jack Drury. I think you would take him back in a heartbeat if you wanted him as a fourth-line guy. Maybe as a third-line guy. I don't know. But I throw that out there because it will have to come via trade. And that's the crazy part about it, is that what's available out there on the market is stuff that you're going to settle for in terms of unrestricted free agents, in my humble opinion.
I mean, is there a reason that we kind of just have overlooked the possibility of someone like a John Tavares? I understand that he's a little bit on the older side, but as a veteran, but looking at like the value of kind of similar bracket of players like Matt Duchene, who just signed that deal, like if they were to sign John Tavares to similar money, like I don't think anyone would be upset about that. That's a consistent 30-goal guy, good leader for the locker room. I understand. I'm pretty sure he's left-handed, but how much stock do you put on that versus someone who's going to give you 30 or 35 goals as a second-line center? Like, sure, I don't care if he's ambidextrous. I don't care if he plays with a flat blade and flips back and forth. Like, if he can score at that rate, I think that would be good. I guess maybe people believe he's going back to Toronto, but, I mean, they got their whole cap situation and everything going on there. So, I mean, I think that's something, of course, if it's an option, Tulsky has inquired about it.
Oh, I'm sure the tires have been kicked on John Tavares, who wants rumored $5 million a year, which is a good number, to be honest, to get him out.
I think that's below value, honestly. I mean, it depends on how many years you're giving him. If you're giving him a 4 or 5 year contract, like, yeah, $5 million's like, okay. But if that was on like a 2 or 3 year deal, like that is highway robbery, I think.
I'll take
on the team side.
I'll take a creator. You will live without the left-handed. And left-handed, right-handed is a little bit in the weeds, to be fair. You're looking for the best player at the position that can help you immediately. And we throw age out of the question, which is why everyone goes, oh, Brad Marchand. Why not? Why not? The guy produces. It's not at the clip that he used to, say, 5 years ago. Certainly not 10 years ago. But veteran presence who can still score. But you might be overpaying for that because in Florida during this run, he wasn't playing monster minutes. Tavares is a good choice. You could run down the line of players that could help out this team. But I firmly believe it will have to come in a trade, which means you're going to have to see a few friends go and a few friends stay, and that might be the only way to go for me, where I sit. Now, I'm not sitting over at Lenovo Center staring at all the paperwork and all the numbers and all the analytics that tell you otherwise. But based on the signing of Eric Robinson today to a 4-year, $1.7 million average annual value contract, they are looking at the numbers, and they're trying to find the best value. And sometimes, even though you are looking for the discount, it's still the hottest toy on the shelf, and you will have to pay full price. I'm sure that they're well aware of this. I'm sure that they're ready to pay that full price too. But will it help the team get to the ultimate goal, which is a Stanley Cup? The warm and fuzzies for me, I'm not warm and fuzzy about trips to the conference finals. I don't think any fans are at this point anymore.
Certainly wasn't feeling warm and fuzzy walking out of the building after Game 5 of the conference finals.
And we'll leave it right there. I think that's a good place to end this portion of the conversation. We'll talk Canes a little bit more throughout the program. Appreciate all of you. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Paul Eihander in for Tim today. We are going to flip the script and head to Omaha in the College World Series. Put a bow on ACC baseball and chat it up a little bit with insider Daron Vaught. Coming up next, right here on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Hey friends, Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. And as you know, here in North Carolina, summers heat up, and so are those deals at the Clayton Homes Sign and Save event. Right now, you can save up to $5,000 instantly on a brand new home. That's $2,500 off a single section or $5,000 off a multi-section home. And you know these homes are built tough in state-of-the-art facilities that protect them during construction. And you know every home is loaded with Energy Smart features, giving you comfort, efficiency, and long-term savings. And with tons of floor plans and fully furnished models, it's easy to find your perfect match. Visit your local Clayton Homes or Oakwood Homes or check out limited time offers now at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. But don't wait. The Clayton Homes Sign and Save event ends August 31st. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through 8/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
I don't want to ruin the song, to be honest. But we do have to get to our next guest here. Tim Donnelly and The Drive. Paul Weihander in for Tim today, right here on 99.9 The Fan. It may not be love, but it is certainly a lot of like when it comes to Omaha and the College World Series matchup that we're getting this weekend, which you can listen to right here on 99.9 The Fan. Coastal Carolina, chance up, and the LSU Tigers joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline to chat it up a little bit. Good friend of my program in the morning, next up, 9 to 10 every morning. He hosts the ACC Baseball Etc podcast, part of the D1 Baseball Network. Daron Vaught. Daron, good afternoon, friend.
Hey, Paul. Good to be with you as always. It's a lot of love on this end of the phone for the College World Series in Omaha, but I get it. I understand. It's fine. Not everybody can love it. We're glad the people that like it this time of year do as much as they do.
Yeah, I like the pinging more than anything else. When this College World Series, regional round started and it all evolved, and you started building your bracket out, so to speak, this probably wasn't the bracket that you had imagined ending with these final two teams.
Not necessarily, but with that being said, I don't know that this should be a huge shocker to anyone. I mean, these are two 50-plus win teams. Coastal Carolina is carrying the longest win streak into the College World Series final in history, now 26 games in a row. They've been really good all year. And honestly, if Coastal Carolina had an SEC or ACC patch on their uniform, this is hindsight being 2020, but they probably would have been a top 5 ranked team long ago, just because of the way they have gone about their business this season. And LSU, I think they have been one of the upper echelon SEC teams all year. But I am probably like most people in that I saw them ranking maybe behind the likes of an Arkansas or even maybe an Auburn, or Texas had a good year and was the number one team in the country for a while. So, it is a sneaky matchup for sure. I think it's safe to say it snuck up on us, but it's a really, really good one. These are two very deserving teams.
Undeniable. Coastal Carolina, LSU, College World Series, best of 3 series in Omaha starts tomorrow night. You can listen to all the games right here on 99.9 The Fan throughout the weekend, and maybe on a Monday as well if it has to stretch out to a 3-game series. I want to talk about, because you've had your pulse on clearly the ACC and clearly when it comes to the College World Series, these players and getting to know them. I want to talk about Colby Thorndike for a hot second here. Lumberton native. Steve Forbes wanted him at Carolina. He ends up going the CC route first and then goes and starts just tearing things up for Kevin Schnall's team at Coastal. Thorndike seems to be, I don't know if he's the diamond in the rough, so to speak, because he was well known, but he has certainly made his presence known and certainly did so throughout this postseason.
Yeah, he's such a fascinating story. Started at East Carolina, went to JUCO before ending up at Coastal Carolina. And when I had Coastal Carolina at the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic week 2 of the season. So NC State was there. Alabama ended up winning the whole thing, with Ohio State being the 4th team there. Coastal finished 2nd. And when we, at that point in the year, were getting to know these teams, Coastal has some guys, right? Caden Bodine is going to be a first-round draft pick, switch hitter, excellent defensive catcher for the Chanticleers. Blake Barthol is their second baseman. He was the active wins above replacement leader from last season in college baseball and had another good season. So, they've got dudes. Thorndike was new to the team, but you could tell, I don't know, there was something about it. Jack DeLongchamp and I had those games on D1 Baseball, and we talked about it then. It was just like, man, this just feels like a team chemistry guy, almost like if you think of the 2004 Boston Red Sox, who came back from that 3-0 deficit against the New York Yankees and ultimately won the World Series. We were sort of comparing him to Kevin Millar. He's kind of like a glue guy who's going to have his big moments. So it's cool to see that come into form in the way that it has, because, man, he has thumped the baseball. But a great story. And I think the way the college universe is these days, it's a more common story than than it used to be. A guy who, starts at one D1 school, maybe his dream school in East Carolina, given where he's from, has to do JUCO for a little bit and comes back and finally makes his real mark with a different team, in this case with Coastal.
Daron Vaught, co-host of ACC Baseball Etc, part of the D1 Podcast Baseball Network, joining us here on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Paul Eihander and Max Gorin here on the Drive with Tim Donnelly. Boy, that's just a mouthful. There's just so much to say there. Daron, a lot of folks aren't familiar with LSU because, clearly we're focused on ACC ball around here and certainly within the triangle. But Jay Johnson's the man when it comes to baseball leadership. And, this recruiting class, this season, the 2025 year, is a result of the recruiting class that he had several years ago. And he's already got a national championship at LSU just a couple of seasons ago. When you see how tight the betting lines are, that's the best way to put it, between these two teams, it's not like one team's going to run away, although LSU is favored in this. Does a lot of that have to do with just Johnson in terms of being a leadership and having been there before?
I think so. Part of it, too, is, look, I'm not saying Coastal Carolina is not a brand name nationally when it comes to college baseball, but making their second college baseball World Series final is going to go a long way and further solidifying that. But part of it is kind of what I was talking about earlier. It's a name brand, LSU. Jay Johnson's been there before, multiple times, right? I mean, last time Coastal was there and won this thing in 2016, Jay Johnson was the opposing coach with Arizona. So he's got his second crack at Coastal Carolina. He's got a chance at a second national championship with LSU. You talk about just the cast of guys on this team. It's a great mix. Johnson has really captured what it takes to construct a juggernaut baseball team here in 2025. And granted, the goalpost is probably going to change, and that's going to be a different formula next year in 2026 and so on. But, he's got a fantastic freshman in Derek Curiel. He's got transfers in Daniel Dickinson and Anthony Ianson, a great pitcher for him. And those guys did not come from huge programs. Dickinson from Utah Valley State, Ianson from UC Irvine. It's a really interesting mix. And then you've got, Josh Pearson, who was on that last College World Series team. Bear Jones, as he's known, who has had some massive clutch hits for them. Chris Stanfield is a center field transfer from Auburn, so that's kind of a big name. But Stephen Milam's a sophomore. He had, big postseason moments last year and has continued to do the same this year. It's a really interesting mix, and Jay has figured out how to recruit well. He's always done that. And into this new era, he's really figured out the transfer portal in a way that is not simply, hey, let me go poach the best ACC players. Even though I know, Tommy White, NC State, that happened. I'm not neglecting that, but it's a really, really interesting construction of this roster, and it turns into sort of an all-star team.
Daron, before we let you go, you mentioned this current era and whatnot. And for the College World Series and the 8 teams that made it to Omaha, it was a varied, eclectic group of teams. I think that's the best way to put it, because they were coming from a varied number of conferences. You were getting enough representation from across the board. Coastal, Murray State also happens to be, part of that conversation. Is this the last great hope, or how has baseball created this last great hope of parity in college sports where we just see dominance at the basketball and football levels?
It's interesting. This time a year ago, everybody was hand-wringing because we were coming off of 4 SEC, 4 ACC in the College World Series. So who knows what it's going to look like next year. At least for the time being, we can cling to some hope that there's going to be some parity. I think it's going to even get better, though, Paul. So with the House settlement going into play, baseball sees a drop from 40 players to 34. And a lot of programs, yes, are going to be able to give 34 full scholarships, in the upper elite of college baseball programs. They're going to be able to give 34 full scholarships and be able to fund as many of those spots as possible. But you think about a team, I just listed off – I almost got to 40, it felt like, with LSU, talking about their
right.
big guys and their key contributors, right? So you take the 6 worst off of that roster, 6 worst off of Coastal's roster, the 6 worst off of, the other 6 teams that were in Omaha. And you do that for every team across Division I baseball. Now, some are going to go D1 to D1. Some are going to go down to D2. Some might take a Colby Thorndike path and go down to a JUCO so that they can bounce back up. There's going to be sort of a trickle down, in my estimation, where this is going to get spread across in a really fantastic way for the sport. And I think, it does some good for a program like Murray State to get this national exposure. And then all of a sudden, every SEC team's got to cut your roster by 6 people. Well, I mean, where are they going to go? Top of mind, the Racers seems like a pretty good option for a guy like that, right? So hopefully this is a sign of things to come, a sign of continued parity in college baseball. You never know. Like I said, year to year, it feels like it's going to change for the foreseeable future.
Daron, I know I promised the audience the last question was going to be that one, but I do have one more. Quickly, your thoughts on Corey Muscara taking over the Duke program, moving over from Wake Forest?
Yeah, 4 years as their pitching coach. This is a coach who has been sort of viewed as the next big thing in terms of being a head coach, becoming a head coach across college baseball for a handful of years now. He's highly respected everywhere. It'll be interesting to see what he puts together for this next season because you're a little late in the transfer cycle. The deadline for players to enter is still not until July 1, but we see commitments here and there all the time. So it'll be interesting. He's still going to put a staff together. You've got to basically re-pull an entire roster because Chris Pollard took his guys or,
right.
They entered the portal to go elsewhere, not with Pollard to Virginia. But no, I think it's a great hire. It's a slam dunk. I don't know that you're going to get much pushback anywhere.
Daron Vaught, ACC Baseball Etc. podcast. Join him there. Daron, always appreciate hooking up with you, friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
All right, Daron Vaught, ACC Baseball, Etc., part of the D1 Podcast and Baseball Network, joining us here on The Fan. Always good to hook up with Daron and get his thoughts. The Dean's List just around the corner here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. Paul Ihender in for Tim today on this Friday.
Heineken Silver is a world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. It keeps things light and refreshing all year round. It's like rain showing up to cool things off and then politely leaving. It's like cracking open a window and nailing the cross breeze. So, as we move into the warmer weather, grab a crisp and refreshing Heineken Silver and taste the difference. Only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Available at your local Heineken retailer or for delivery at Heineken.com/silver now. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Tuesday, June 24th at Bank of America Stadium. Football legends collide at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Benfica and Bayern Munich. Angel Di Maria and Nicolas Otamendi taking on Harry Kane and Joshua Kimmich. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
A pepperoni pizza for the table. May I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Handy Hugo's has a refreshing deal. 2 1-liter Pepsis for just $3. Quench your thirst at Handy Hugo's today.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. People are looking around their homes right now and they're saying, I need this, I need this, I need this. You guys do everything for the exterior of your home. How do you keep it from being overwhelming for the homeowner?
Right, Adam. The first thing we do is we come out there, do an assessment with the homeowner. It's a no-obligation estimate, and we can break it up into phases of projects, or if you want to break it up into easy monthly payments, we come out there, give you a good plan. It's no pressure, no obligation, and whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, most of these projects we give you a lifetime warranty on for the rest of your time in the home. And then you can also break it up into easy monthly payments and make it manageable for your budget.
I love manageable. I love easy monthly payments. I love lifetime warranties. Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. These people are amazing. You should check him out online, aluminumcompany.com.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Man, this is an odd choice. It's okay. Is this like the Kids Bop version of New Kids on the Block? Or is this actually how it sounded?
No, this is just the normal song.
This is how it sounded? Wow. It's been a hot second since I've heard this song. You know, I saw New Kids on the Block in concert after, like, when they all got grown up. They started doing CBS dramas and stuff.
My friend back home, his dad was like their tour photographer.
You're kidding.
Or at least for Donnie Wahlberg he was. I don't know for the rest of the New Kids. But
the Wahlbergs. Well done. Are we hanging tough? Are we hanging tough with the Dean's List? Yes, we are, Max. There goes the bell. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Paul Eihander in for Tim today as we roll through some kudos, some Dean's List action. And I'm going to hand out some Dean's List action to Hubert Davis and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Apparently the Tar Heels have gone back to the good feels and the nostalgia, which is maybe why we were playing New Kids on the Block to start this little section of the program. It has been reported and confirmed by Taj Ariza, 6'9" wing out of Los Angeles, that he has been offered a scholarship, blessings, to play for the North Carolina Tar Heels. If you understand basketball or know some of your history about basketball, the last name will strike you as, where have I heard that before? Well, Taj Ariza is the offspring from the loins of former NBA player and NBA champion Trevor Ariza, which throughout the 2000s and 2010s was the guy that was always the player to be named later. Trevor Ariza played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 teams in the NBA. 12. His son, hopefully, will have the same amount of offers when it comes to Power 4 programs and Group of 5 programs. But it looks like Taj Ariza has been targeted by Hubert Davis and the North Carolina Tar Heels, and he could come here, but he's also got offers from Texas, Washington, USC, Alabama, Kentucky, Michigan, and Oregon, and has a visit to Oregon in September. So early in the recruitment, but he's 6'9", and he shoots very well. And if he plays anything like his father did at UCLA, which, again, will make a lot of you feel old, that I just told you that Trevor Ariza has a kid that is being recruited by Carolina. All right, there's the first thing on the Dean's List. I got another one for you because I know Max has one. The Fanatics Fest. Some of you might be familiar with the Fanatics Fest. Hopefully this isn't your Dean's List, Max. Okay, he's shaking his head. At the Fanatics Fest, which is this giant sports fans convention that takes place at the Javits Center in New York City, those of you familiar with New York City. Lots of autographs, lots of professional athletes, collectibles, things you can buy and whatnot. At the Fanatics Fest, there is an 8-year-old kid, and I will tip my hat to him. He showed up, and Daron Vaught shared this on his social media accounts. He showed up in a stitched hybrid Cam Ward Miami Tennessee Titans jersey. And it is fire. It is incredibly cool. Like, I don't know where he got it custom done, but clearly the 8-year-old's got some hookups, and it's sweet. And it shows the back of the kid, not the front of the kid, because at the back of the kid, and half of it is Miami Hurricanes, and the other half is Tennessee Titans. It's got Ward and his number on the back of it. And it is slick. And hopefully, he'll get Cam to sign it. So for you, buddy, You make the Dean's List today for a little bit of college run back and a little bit of professional look forward with a cool hybrid Cam Ward jersey. The number 1 pick, by the way, in the NFL draft. All right, Max, chime in, buddy. I hear you got one.
Not my favorite Cam Ward to ever play professional sports, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
My Dean's List, I'll go with Jacob Morrison from Coastal Carolina. Maybe trying to inform people a little bit more about the College World Series final that's going on this weekend.
Sure.
We just talked about it with Daron Vaught. This guy's awesome. He's 6'8", big fella, 245, right-handed pitcher for Coastal Carolina. Was the Sun Belt Pitcher of the Year. As a redshirt sophomore, posted an ERA a hair over 2, I believe it was 2.08 in 104 innings, 102 strikeouts, 22 walks. So he's their ace. And he's just leaning into like the big unit thing. So he wears number 51 just like Randy Johnson. And I just think that's really cool.
That is cool.
If you're going to be the tall pitcher, like, just own it. He's owning it. And he's owning it with his stats too.
Okay, yeah. Be the big unit.
I'd like to see them win. What is that? Take a 28-game win streak to the national championship.
Right, yeah.
Through the national championship.
Wrap it up Sunday afternoon in Omaha and come home.
So a little bit more of a local tie, too, other than LSU.
Do you think the parade would be in Conway, or do you think it'd be in Myrtle Beach?
I really don't even know how. It's funny, I'm going on a golf trip down there next weekend.
Sure.
I have no idea how far apart they are. I kind of assumed it was the same place.
They're kind of the same, but I mean, there's one distinctly Conway, and then Myrtle Beach is, the beach. And then you've got like the boardwalk kind of happy place, I like to call
the Grand Strand.
Yeah, there's chain restaurants and all that kind of stuff that's there. Yeah, a parade would be cool to celebrate a national championship. National championships are rare. You don't get to have a lot of those.
They only have the one in any sport in their history was baseball in 2016, so they're looking for their second.
Right, well,
LSU has 7 in baseball alone, including 2 years ago.
Well, second in a decade, right? You mentioned the big unit. I got a piece of trivia for you.
Okay.
Alice Cooper, the rock star, the rocker, used to have a restaurant in Phoenix, Arizona called Cooperstown because he's a big baseball fan, but it's a play on his last name. On the menu, a longer than foot-long hot dog by the name of,
The Big
pointing
Unit.
at you, the big unit. The big unit. Cooperstown no longer there. Closed down. But you could get a giant hot dog named after Randy Johnson in the big unit. Imagine that. A sausage named the big unit. A wiener named the big unit. All right, one last Dean's List for you here. This is for all you moms and dads who have had to deal with cheerleaders in your family. And cheering is a big thing. It is incredibly competitive. They've made movies about it. Matter of fact, Bring It On, I believe, had 4 sequels. Cheerleading will now go professional. A group called Varsity Spirit has started the Pro Cheer League, the first professional cheerleading league for athletes 18 and older. So as you are cheering in college, you have one more level to shoot for. We have pro softball, we have pro beach volleyball, we have pro lacrosse. Why not professional cheerleading? The group that's putting this on, Varsity Spirit's, already had tens of thousands attend events. The league, this is a league. 4 teams stocked with 30 women and men based in Atlanta, Dallas, Miami, and San Diego. They're going to have tryouts in September, practice in October, and the season will start immediately after practice, and we'll have a championship in Nashville, which is kind of weird because they won't have a team there at either the end of March or the start of April. So think about it. March Madness for cheerleading. Here are the rules. 3 periods of competition. 2 focusing on skills, stunts, tosses, and tumbling. The final period, choreography and music. Something new to shoot for. And just to let you know that NCAA championships will start for stunt in 2027. This is a thing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys and thems. So Varsity Spirit and the Pro Cheerleading League, you've made the Dean's List. And that'll do it. Class is now out of session. There we have it. Up next, The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Paul Lyhander in for Tim. Our football at 4. Stick around.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Pack your summer with wonder and wild fun at Busch Gardens. Explore 9 European villages, race across 29,000 feet of coaster track, become the beast, and race above Bavaria on the all-new Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge. Now open. Make summer wonder-filled with high-energy shows, concerts, and fireworks every Saturday during Summer of Wonder from June 27th through July 31st at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, the world's most beautiful theme park. Save up to 50% on tickets, fun cards, and memberships during our 4th of July sale. Hurry, offer ends soon. Restrictions apply.
Texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you text radio to 64,000. That's radio to 64,000.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Happy first day of summer. Not as hot, as a matter of fact. Really no heat index for today. Highs will be in the low 90s, but feeling like low 90s. 70 overnight tonight, and tomorrow's high 93. Also fairly low humidity. That all changes Sunday, and especially Monday and Tuesday. The humidity rushes back in. We have weather alert days for Monday and Tuesday for extreme heat.
Weather report brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 24 points to 42,196.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Football at 4 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Paul Ihander in for Tim today. Appreciate him letting me sit in the chair, doing some double duty today. And we were here this morning with my show Next Up, right here on 99.9 The Fan, every morning at 9 o'clock. Max Gordon was also here, bright and early, at 9 o'clock. But we are bringing it. We are bringing all the energy for you, and we do so here with Football at 4. And I want to get into something before we get into the other thing we were going to discuss here, Max, as we dive into the Panthers and the Panthers offseason. And we know that the offseason is short. We know that the minicamp has already been, we're a week removed from minicamp already. And they have made their breaks. But guys are still hanging around and working out. One of those guys that's still hanging out and working out is Xavier Legette. And Xavier Legette did an interview with Forbes magazine that was posted here in the last 24 hours. And Zay Legette talked about how much he is working on controlling a couple things. One, drops. He's very not happy about those drops. And I remember when Legette was drafted, I texted a buddy of mine who knows him from his days at South Carolina and asked him, I said, give me a good story about Xavier Legette. And he goes, right, here's a good one for you. And some of you may have remembered this because I think I've told this story before during my program, but some of you are not familiar with my game. So Zay Legette apparently is a tireless worker, a guy who hones in on his craft. And you don't know that because it's the NFL, and some of those stories don't get out. But in college, there's a story there that South Carolina head coaching staff were summoned and got a call at 3 o'clock in the morning, saying the alarms are going off at the football indoor practice facility. So they go to the practice facility and they go disarm the things, and security shows up and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And they go inside the building to find Xavier Legette. And Legette is in there working out. Couldn't figure out how to disarm the alarm, apparently, that he was unaware of. But he's in there working out. And that is the kind of guy that you're getting with Legette. So for everyone that kind of went, that rookie season wasn't as great as it was going to be, understand, at least through what he is saying and how he is performing, that he is learning on the job. And he's doing so with Adam Thielen. And he's picking up some of the things that Thielen's giving him. He says he's learning a lot from him. Ways to read the defense, because how he was taught is a different way than Thielen was taught. And that's a good thing. That is a young guy in your system going into a year 2 going, goodness, I have this encyclopedia of the NFL sitting right across from me. And this is an encyclopedia, not the Wikipedia of the NFL, but an encyclopedia of the NFL with Adam Thielen, who is an all-pro, who in his first year under a struggling Bryce Young still managed to grab 1,000 yards in receiving and become an all-pro. I think that should be encouraging for Carolina Panthers fans. For a young guy like Legette to go, I'm getting some influence from the elder statesman in the room. And apparently there's some machines that Legette says, Thielen, in terms of technique, it's a lot of machines he uses I've never heard of. He uses a good amount of stuff to keep his body right. If I can go ahead and get a head start on it, I'm going to jump on it now. That's a direct quote from Legette, which now leads me to believe, what in the hell Adam Thielen is using to get him stretched out in the offseason?
I don't know, but clearly it's working, because despite being one of the older guys, he's still one of the more productive receivers on the Panthers.
And from what I understand, Thielen, he runs like camps back in Minnesota, and understands, plyometrics and stretching and moving the body and whatnot. And he is deeply in tune with what's happening with his body. And for Thielen also to say, he wants to come back and run it back with Young. And that's one of the reasons, and seeing the offseason, improvements for him. That's also a positive thing. Legette, though, also echoed what Chuba Hubbard said, and more so positive move for Panthers fans. Want to get to the playoffs. Sick and tired of losing. Want to get to a Super Bowl. Now, that's a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream for them to go that far. In a weekend NFC South, there's certainly playoffs possibility. And you never say never when it says going to the Super Bowl. But we know who's there right now and what it takes. Maybe there's that acumen that's already been built up in the building. And I'm not trying to poop on the Carolina Panthers and these players' hopes for going to a Super Bowl. But that would be so far ahead, I believe, of where the Panthers front office feels they are right now. Everyone will say Super Bowl or bust. That should be written on the dry erase board. But there's an understanding that comes along with that. There's a maturity that comes along with that. The Panthers have handed out big, big contracts to a lot of players. J.C. Horn was the highest paid cornerback for about an hour in the NFL. And Derek Brown's going to earn his money. And we're going to see, more and more from this defense, fingers crossed, we hope. But where do you go up from number 32, right? Old, tried and true. We're bad. We're terrible. They're tired of hearing about it. Panthers fans certainly tired of hearing about it. But this is where we were going to go initially when we started Football at 4 here. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, Paul Einhander for Tim today. Max Gorn is here as well. 124 years ago today, and this is going to sound strange to some of you, but just stay with me here. 124 years ago, Honus Wagner. If you're a baseball guy, you know who Honus Wagner is. He's more known for the collectible cards, right? A Honus Wagner card sells for $1 million, sells for $4 million. He was a hell of a baseball player back in the early 20th century. I know, stay with me, folks. The early 1900s. Honus Wagner, 124 years ago today, stole home twice. He stole home twice. And you're like, wow, 124 years later, this makes some sort of footnote, right? These little moments, the fact that he has this baseball card, that we were remembering a guy like Honus Wagner. Honus Wagner, 124 years later. If you wanted to look back at this Carolina franchise now, the Carolina Panthers, and I know now I'm tying it together. Now you're coming back with me, right? Like, come with me, folks. Come with me. Who's coming with me? If you were to look at the Panthers in 2024, and now, after we are all dead and gone, and I hate to say it, just the reality of life, we will not see this team 100 years from now or be able to reminisce 100 years from now. But you hope that in some point or fashion, that this team in 2025, 2024 will be remembered in a positive light, much like Honus Wagner is or was with the Pittsburgh Pirates. How will you look at this team? How will history judge these moves that Dan Morgan is making, that Dave Canales is making way down the line from now? I always find it an interesting concept. Like, we all wish we could be at our own funerals, and I always find it kind of weird. You know, people are like, hey, write my obituary for me. What do you think? What's my legacy going to be within this community of people, within this family? I find that a little bit strange. And then I think to myself, as you live in the now, and athletes live for this, right? Like star athletes, they don't want to lose. Champions hate losing more than they enjoy winning. That you think when it comes to the Panthers and how this team will be judged in the future, that it'll be judged in a positive light. That right now, that we live in the now, where we are, the Carolina Panthers are still remote afterthoughts for a lot of fans. The fandom that comes with a Carolina Panthers fan comes with a lot of pain. It comes with a lot of misstep. It comes with a lot of longing. And you're nodding your head, Max. And you're like, yes, you are right.
Yeah, it comes with 36 and 80 since Tepper bought the team.
It comes with seeing Christian McCaffrey in a different uniform. It comes with Brian Burns now with the New York Giants and laughing it up. It comes with Sam Darnold earning $40 million to quarterback a completely different team after pretty much being comeback player of the year last year in Minnesota when he was signed to be a backup quarterback. It comes with Baker Mayfield being in Tampa. It's on and on and on. And how will this team be judged? I hope that 100 years from now, or as I want to bring it back to the original story, Honus Wagner, 124 years ago, stealing home twice in a game. And that will be an afterthought for you. For a lot of you listening to this right now, you won't even think about it, but it will come up later today. You'll be like, I was listening to Paul this afternoon, and Paul mentioned this baseball player that I really didn't give two craps about, but he brought it home for me because the guy stole home twice. And you start thinking about who's the guy on the Carolina Panthers this year that will have that equivalent. Who's the Panther that's going to steal home twice? That we'll be talking about a century from now, or your ancestors, your offspring from your loins, that will be talking about this team 100 years from now. Is there a possibility that that could happen? Is that something that is real? You hope that that's how the Panthers will be remembered, and it won't be just another year of, well, they swung and they missed and they got caught out at home. Coming up next, we're going to do a little bit of betting and talk about the specialness of a Game 7. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly. Paul in for Tim today right here on 99.9 The Fan.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Folks, I love the weather that we have going on right now. I love getting on the motorcycle and just cruising around, but I have to make sure I do everything necessary to make sure I'm safe before I even get on the motorcycle. Make sure that my bike is in proper working order. Make sure the tire pressure is good. One thing you can do to take care of your bike, wash it, clean it, take care of your bike, and your bike will take care of you. You don't want a bunch of gunk and things all built up in the engine. Take care of your motorcycle. But if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Insurance companies, they want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They know what you're going through after an accident. They know what your bike and your gear are worth. That's why your case evaluation is always free, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Champions are crowned in June. The NBA Finals.
Kick out to Toppin. He'll take the three. He'll miss it with 2 seconds to go. Out to Shepard. Three at the horn. Good! 3-point lead for the Pacers. 3 quarters in the books and trying to force Game 7 Sunday night.
The Stanley Cup Finals and the College World Series. Your home for championship action all month long. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Triple play, triple play, triple play. 3 ways to win on every scratch-off. They're like a 3-man wrecking crew of winning potential smashing into your bare heads. Triple threats of cold, hard cash. Prizes up to $1 million. 3 times the play, 3 times the thrills, and 3 ways to win. Triple play from the North Carolina Education Lottery with triple action-packed chances to win.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.84 to 4.79. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
NASCAR Prime is gearing up for the Tricky Triangle at Pocono.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
After 5 decades of racing tradition, it's clear that strategy is king at Pocono.
Finally, some separation between first, second, and third.
3 legendary turns, 3 unique approaches.
Wow, that's close.
Who will tame the triangle this year? Don't miss the Cup Series at Pocono, streaming Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Let's freaking go!
NASCAR, it's on Prime.
Wow. My heart belongs to Tenderoni.
Didn't think I had Bobby Brown ready to go, but I did.
Bobby Brown, who I've seen in concert way back in the day after the split from New Edition. It's Johnny Gill, Keith Sweat. Boy, if you play Johnny Gill, my, there'll be panties dropping all over the place. I'm just saying. Boy, we're going to talk about songs of the summer coming up, too. Like, this brings back good memories. Like, good memories. Let me tell you. Paul Ihander in for Tim Donnelly today. Next up is the show I normally host here on 99.9 The Fan every morning, 9 to 10 o'clock. But I have the drive duties today, along with Max Gorn, who I appreciate hanging out with me. He has seen way too much of me this week, I think. But it's okay. It's okay. There's something that has just come down the pike today that I believe will unfortunately be a new part of what we're calling this new era of college athletics. We talked about it very briefly with Daron Vaught, not this specific thing, but how college athletics has changed just a little. I say just a little. College athletics has become much more of a business than it has become something fun to do. And it's always been a business. It's always been just kind of hidden under tradition. And with college athletics nowadays, with the money that is now being pushed towards athletes, which they deserve, I'm not questioning the fact that money is being pushed towards athletes, there is now going to be a series of visits to courtrooms which will change how we view 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds and how the business of NIL and contracts are getting done. A lawsuit has been filed today, and this is huge. A lawsuit was filed today basically claiming one university poached a college football player under contract. This lawsuit is a first of its kind. The University of Wisconsin is suing an ACC school, Miami, over alleged tortious interference. Wisconsin is seeking unspecified financial damage and a declaratory judgment saying that Miami should not have interfered with a binding revenue share contract with Xavier Lucas. Xavier Lucas left Wisconsin to go to compete at Miami. Basically, they're saying what transpired over the winter between Wisconsin, Miami, and Lucas was not cool. And we've seen college coaches come out and say, hey, these guys are calling us immediately after, the ECU baseball coach just said it a week or two ago. Once they exited the College World Series regional round, that coaches were already calling his kids saying, hey, come here, we have money for you, we have playing time for you. Now, he didn't name names. And we've heard this before throughout the ACC. This is now in a court of law where the Big Ten is supporting this lawsuit against Miami, saying Miami should have never talked to this kid to begin with and broke a contract with us. And this is going to happen more and more and more. Because now it's come to the forefront that kids, and again, I'm talking about 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, are going to be lured by adults, grown adults in positions of power, and these kids have no clue what to do. I promise you, in Wake County schools at these high schools, they are not teaching kids about NIL. They can barely get their school boundaries correct. They are not teaching kids about NIL. And now think about that multiplied. Now I'm a star athlete. And who was representing me? My favorite great uncle, who happened to watch my cousin Vinny and said, if that guy can do it, I can do it too. And it doesn't work out that way. So there are men and women in power who are going to be talking to these kids who have just garbage representation. And hopefully they are getting guided right, these star players and even not star players, that they have figured it out, that Uncle Bob or Auntie Joyce quite aren't really representing their best interest at all because they aren't navigating it correctly. And they're saying, you know what, just go take it. Go take the money. This can happen. We can make this happen. More and more of these things are going to happen and get drawn into court. This is not going to be the first. Because what we are going to quickly find out is that these college coaches, college administrations and whatnot who have been saying, hey, our kids are getting tampered with and are not naming names, those names will come out in public files. And this is the first one to do it. And these conference commissioners all across the Group of Five and the Power Four and even the smaller conferences, they're going to have to line up behind these schools. NIL agreements are going to have to be enforced. And this, came before this court settlement that allows and introduced athlete revenue sharing. More and more of these things are going to happen. If you are the parent of an adult, or a parent of they're adults, but if you're the parent of a student athlete, we'll just be politically correct right now. If you're the parent right now of a student athlete, I beg you, get learned up. Get schooled up on this NIL and the amount of money that's getting flown out there and thrown at your children. If your children have any sliver of talent, they are going to be asked to sign things that they are not familiar with. They're going to be you are going to see contracts and language that you will not be familiar with. If you think the Apple agreement, the terms of service that you just scroll through really quickly and just check the box, or anytime you download an app and it says, well, this app would like to share your data with our partners and do all those kinds of things. If you ignore those kinds of things, trust me, this NIL and these letters of intent and those kinds of things is going to blow your mind. Get schooled up, because it's not happening in your schools. You will have to do that work yourself. You will have to hire somebody smarter than you. And I hate to say it, there are a lot of people smarter than me too. I will look to them for help if my kids ever get to that point in their lives where they need it. Because I am not that smart and I cannot navigate it. I will get smarter about it, I promise you. I promise you. But more and more of these things are going to happen. We are going to see more and more of these things happening in courtrooms. It is inevitable. And it's unfortunate. As we say that, hey, let's get to our ladder challenge, everybody. This is where we place bets of the fake fashion by any means. And Tim Donnelly, who's not here today, and because Max Gordon has been here all week, I didn't know why he just didn't have a week-long challenge with you, knowing that you were going to be here all week.
Well, we didn't know if Dennis was coming back.
Right. It was this day-to-day kind of thing. And Dennis, by the way, is under the weather. So worry about Dennis, but don't worry about Dennis. He just hadn't been feeling well. And he's now rolling into his birthday weekend, which even makes it worse. So, yeah. Dennis, prayers up to you, buddy.
Yeah, originally I was just going to be in on Friday, and then it became Tuesday through Friday. But it became increasingly funny every morning because I go to sleep pretty late at night, and then you would call me. It would be like 10 o'clock in the morning. I'd be like, hello? Did you say, you want to come in again? I'm like, sure.
Here you are.
And here we are, and it's been a whole week.
Here we are. It's been a full week. Yeah, it's been a full week. So I was not privy to your bets yesterday in the ladder challenge. How did you do?
I went 0 for 3.
Oh, so you're
Tim has now beaten me back-to-back days because he hit 1 and I hit 0.
Okay.
So I'm 0 for 6, and then earlier this week, I don't know if I hit anything either. I might be 0 for this week.
So he's
I'm
only
not
bagged
positive.
1 and you got 0.
I think so. I think I'm 0 for this week.
Wow,
honestly.
this is like the worst numbers game challenge ever.
And it could continue based on my picks, but we'll see.
Well, there's an old Jamie McMahon bobblehead in here. Maybe between the two of us, whoever wins, they can have the Jamie McMahon bobblehead.
I love Jamie McMahon. I have a vivid memory of him scoring like a game-winning overtime goal on Arbor Day when I was like 8 years old.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the mark in this room for me to stare at the camera every once in a while. It's just a reminder. Hey, Jamie McMahon, I'm talking to you. He's probably like, his ears are ringing. Who is saying my name? All right, ladder challenge. Basically, we're going to pick 3 bets between each of us, and whoever emerges victorious. But I'm pretty confident in my stuff. I really am. I'm the prince of parlay, so I really like the 3 that I've lined up for today.
I'm kind of throwing whatever. Complete opposite. I need to do something different, so I'm throwing some stuff out there.
Okay,
we'll
so
see.
what sticks to the wall, right? What sticks to the wall? All right, here we go. Well, listen, I'm the guest today. I'm on visiting turf, so you're welcome to go first if you'd like.
I'll go first.
Okay.
And to anyone who knows me, this one is not going to be a surprise at all. I just want to double check and make sure that these odds have not changed since I wrote this down in my
notes. It too much. You ain't going to win them anyway.
It has changed, actually, a little bit more juice for me. Okay. I'm going with Scotty Scheffler to win the Travelers Championship, in which he, I believe, is currently in the lead. He shot 8 under yesterday. At this moment in time, that is minus 120.
Minus 120. Scotty Scheffler to win the Travelers.
I don't know if you saw the graphic that was going around like before the Open last week, but if you invested, or I guess not invested, but if you bet on Scotty Scheffler to win every tournament at the start of the 2021-22 season, your rate of return by now is double that as if you invested the same amount of money in the S&P 500.
Okay. So at the Travelers right now, he's actually finished his round for the day. He shot a 69 today. He was 1 under for the day. He is still tied in first at minus 9. Justin Thomas went 6 under today, and he is also tied at 9 under par. So you have a shot.
He's in good shape no matter what, because at this course, I mean, Jim Furyk once fired, I believe, a 58 at TPC River Highlands.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Anything's possible. As long as he's within like 3 or 4 or 5 shots, it doesn't really matter.
Is there a windmill on this course? Feels like it. It feels like it should have one. Right. I get a free game if I put it in the nose of the dinosaur. All right, here's my first one. WNBA action tonight. The Dallas Wings taking on the Connecticut Sun. Paige Beckers, 20-plus points or more. She's been on a tear recently. I love me some Paige Beckers, but I'm going to go with 2 3-pointers on that one. 2 threes for Paige Beckers, plus 148 there for that action. Plus 148. My $10 is going to be huge.
Love some WNBA betting. Me and Tim combined have not won a bet on the WNBA yet.
You just don't know your dub.
We made a couple of
You don't
picks.
know your W.
Don't know the W. All right, we'll go over to the Diamond now. College World Series. We talked a good bit about it today. Yep. Coastal versus LSU in the finals, College World Series finals in Omaha. I'm just going to take Coastal not to win Game 1, just to win College World Series, plus 134.
Yeah, that's a good bet. I like that bet. I do. I like that bet for the ladder challenge here. Tim Donnelly Show, the drive here on 99.9 The Fan. All right, number 2, I'm going to the Diamond as well, but I'm going professional. Clayton Kershaw on the bump tonight for the Los Angeles Dodgers against the Washington Nationals. But while it is a happy Kershaw day, Clayton Kershaw has struggled a bit with the command and has yet to go 5 innings. He's given them close to 5 innings since he's returned. I'm going under 4.5 strikeouts. And that's minus 112. Under 4.5 K.
It's crazy. He's fallen off a little bit, but thinking about the longevity of his career, though, just the fact that he's still out there giving
Hall of Famer, baby.
Starts like
Cooperstown bound.
And even if he gives up a few runs in a game, they only have the best offense ever to give him run support.
No, I know. It sucks to be a Dodgers fan these days.
Oh, man. Our franchise legend's not pitching as well. Good thing we have probably the best player of the last 20 years over here to.
It's very true.
To back him up.
All right, what's your third one?
Last pick, I'm going to go to the Tricky Triangle, Pocono, NASCAR.
Ooh, NASCAR.
For those watching on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan, subscribe. You'll watch live if you're not in your car or if you're somewhere with a screen. I've gotten big in NASCAR recently. Went to the Coke 600 down there in Charlotte a few weeks ago. They're at Pocono this weekend. I'm going to go with William Byron to win at Pocono plus 700.
Plus 700. Whoa.
Huge Caniac, William Byron.
So that's oh my goodness. So you hit that, you pretty much take everything.
Yeah, but I don't think I've hit anything this week.
You haven't hit any this week?
I know I haven't the last 2 days. Before that, I might have hit one.
Offers. Okay, I get it. All right, here's my last one. This one. So, what have we done so far, Max? We've done golf. Okay, I'm just putting this out for everybody. You and I do not get together on the ladder challenge. We just throw this stuff out there. So we've now done golf. We've done WNBA. We've done College World Series. We've done Major League Baseball, and we've done NASCAR. I'm about to make it a clean 6 for 6 of 6 different categories.
Who else is giving you that kind of coverage?
Canadian football. Tonight, the Saskatchewan Roughriders are taking on the Toronto Argonauts. Keyshawn Johnson, former NFLer, played for the Arizona Cardinals, now up there in his second year with Saskatchewan. Over 73.5 receiving yards. That's minus 144. He had 68 yards in his first game and then exploded in his second game of the season. 11 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Over 73.5 receiving yards. Keyshawn Johnson, former Fresno State all-time leading receiver for the Bulldogs. Minus 144 over 73.5 receiving yards. That is 6 different sports on a Friday.
How on earth did you land on that bet?
FanDuel, baby.
Just scrolling down as deep as you could go.
So here's what I can tell you. It's the Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Paul Eihander in for Tim. Appreciate him letting me sit in today. Tim will be back on Monday, by the way. He just had a little something personal to deal with. Max Gorn is here as well. So this time of year, I start watching other football. And I'm not a UFL guy at all. Back in the day, ESPN overnights used to show Aussie rules football. You can still find Australian rules football on FS1, FS2. And they show it early in the morning, not like ridiculously early in the morning, but well, I guess it is. It's like 6 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Canadian football is an obsession of mine. And it's a weird obsession that I've had for years. Those of you who remember know your professional football history a little bit, when it comes to Canadian football, Doug Flutie got his start in the Canadian League playing for the Calgary Stampeders. Ended up playing north of the border, played for Buffalo, obviously New England, and whatnot. Rahib Rocket Ismail, you'll know that name. The Rocket, played in Notre Dame. I was a big fan of his. And when he ended up going and playing in Canada, I ended up buying his jersey because they played in an exhibition in Portland, Oregon. And a matter of fact, it was Calgary versus Toronto in that exhibition. And that game ended up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, days and thems, 20-1. 20-1. And I still have that Ismail jersey from the Toronto Argonauts sitting at home on a hanger next to all my other old school jerseys. And so for Canadian football, man, I love Canadian football. Matt Dunnigan, the voice of the CFL on TSN. It's on CBS Sports Network. I'm not sure if this game is on CBS Sports Network tonight, but I will be paying attention. You know, there's local guys that have played in the CFL too. Local guys here from Raleigh. I think last year we had one of the guys that played in the Grey Cup, maybe a couple years ago, went to Millbrook and played in the Grey Cup. So, Paul Eihander in for Tim Donnelly today, 99.9 The Fan. That's how I ended up with the CFL bet.
Wow, impressive. I mean, I'm going to be honest, like when it's on these days, a lot of the days this week, there haven't been like a ton of sporting events for us to make picks on.
Right.
I don't know if I ever would have ended up on the CFL.
Canadian football?
And Tim mentioned this when either we both went 0 for 3 or he won 1 and I went 0 for 3. He was like, who would have thought that it's harder to sports bet on sports that you don't know as well? What a shocker.
Right. Hey, you run out.
It's hard enough to win on sports you do know.
The ones that I always get befuddled by, and I've never understood it, but I have bet on it from time to time, e-basketball.
Oh, like the 2K League?
Yeah, it's like the 2K League, which is just odd. I'm like, it's the teams, but it's video games. And table tennis. Like, table tennis just baffles me. But you know what? For 10 cents or a quarter of action, I'll watch a couple of guys from Poland smash a table tennis ball at a ping pong ball at each other. I'm cool with that. I truly am. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Paul Eihander in for Tim today. If you've missed any portion of this program, you can run it back on our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan, or if you're watching live right now, hello, saying hi to you. Also, for this program and all the other shows here on 99.9 The Fan, which includes my show next up every morning at 9 o'clock, The Adam Gold Show, Tim Donnelly Show, our podcasts, you can find them wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Just make sure you search out, 99.9 The Fan. You'll find all of them there. The Panthers Playbook with Dennis, Kane's Corner Podcast with Adam Gold. And just make sure you like and subscribe. That's the most important thing. Like and subscribe. And if you don't have a chance to check out our newsletter, which we have a newsletter as well, you can sign up for that too. But it's really hard to find, which is just odd. I think we have a graphic at somewhere or whatnot. Oh yeah, in between breaks. Those of you watching on our YouTube, you go to our YouTube and you can just scan that with your phone, and you can sign up for a newsletter. We send out a newsletter every week, which is kind of cool. There was a big beefy beef when it came to the Padres and the Dodgers last night, into which a lot of people are wondering if this is taken over, at least for one season, based on how the Boston Red Sox have dismantled their baseball team, that the San Diego Padres-LA Dodgers rivalry has become the most heated in baseball. And you go, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, it kind of feels that way right now. And last night, they started throwing at each other again. And it ended up with both managers coming together at home plate, where Fernando Tatis Jr. was hit on the wrist. And after that, they all got together. But it wasn't that which sparked the kind of craziness you think it would. It was the fact that in the ninth inning, Shohei Ohtani got plunked. And he got plunked on the arm with a 100-mile-an-hour pitch. And Shohei Ohtani did not charge the mound. It got an audible ooh out of the broadcasters. But as Ohtani got plunked, he decided to wave everyone off.
Look at Shohei just waving him off. Waving off the thing. Yeah, Shohei's turning around, telling his dugout, stay put, right? Fine. Right. Look. And that's 100%. 100% going after him. You have 3-0, you figure you're going to end up walking him. I'm going to just drill him. And they just threw Suarez out of the game. Yeah, he has to go. Yeah, he did. He has to go.
100-mile-an-hour fastball on a 3-0 count. And so this is where the unwritten rules of sports get questioned. And between the Padres and the Dodgers, who have had quite the bean fest, and they have had dugouts empty, in the last essential at-bat of the series, Shohei Ohtani gets nailed. And he turns and tells his entire dugout, who were already coming over the rail, to not go over the rail. Like, no, go back. Go back. And they were all ready to rush. And I get that. That is some loyalty. That's also understanding that Shohei Ohtani's top 3 players in the game right now. That you don't throw at a guy like that. Now, Fernando Tatis for the San Diego Padres was hit on the wrist. They did have initial x-rays, which turned out negative, but they were going to check him out a little bit more. But this is where it gets out of hand, where it's not necessarily need to be a tit for a tat, because all it does is distract you from a game that already doesn't need any more distractions. They are already having enough trouble trying to prop up guys like Eddie De La Cruz. And I can name baseball players, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Pete Crow Armstrong, who happens to be like the next big face. Like, the kids love him. He signs autographs. Pete Crow Armstrong of the Chicago Cubs, which I think Victoria heard me say that name and she came running down the hall. Like, she's a big Pete Crow Armstrong fan. Because they need people to replace the Mike Trouts of the planet. They need someone to kind of go, all right, Chris Bryant didn't quite cut it in Colorado, and his star has faded pretty quickly. Where Bryce Harper in Philadelphia, gets injured, and then he comes back, and Harper's a stud. Love me some Bryce Harper. Again, this is dudes naming names, right? Tim Donnelly always talks about dudes naming dudes. But this is where you have the new rivalry that is focused there, but also those old school rules that don't quite apply. And I know the San Diego manager said something about, well, my teams won't get into that stuff and you'll never see us throwing, but when we need to get mixed up, we need to get mixed up. Is that just silly pride more than anything else? Is this beyond the trash talk of Caitlin Clark where she gets fouled in the face and then someone just, bull rushes her and knocks her to the ground? I'm like, is this what we are coming to? I'm not saying there isn't a place or a point where we need to stick up for each other in terms of sports, but when you start talking about like hurting guys and in very clear cases, I'm like, if you're going to send messages, it probably shouldn't be at 100 miles an hour, let alone in the name of pride. I don't quite know where I want to go with this next, other than it just seems stupid. And for a guy like Ohtani to wave his team back and say, hey, don't come out here, it's not even worth it, because I don't want to see more guys get hurt or, you bruise a knuckle. It's like you're watching pitchers, in warm-ups jumping, and they're like, no, dude, stay back. We're out of pitchers if you're the Dodgers. I get rivalry. I totally understand rivalry. What I don't get is the bravado that comes along with some of that rivalry. I do want to get into this a little bit when it comes to the specialness of Game 7s. And we're going to get one here in the NBA Finals. For the first time since the 2016, I believe, Golden State in the Game 7 there. And that was, ridiculous. So 9 years since we've had a Game 7. And it takes so long for teams to get to this point. You get a 3-3. And I've said it before. I've been a part of elimination games. I've been a part, and I've seen wild card games played out in front of me where you're one and done. But when you see Game 7s, it's pretty rare that you get to this point. And in hockey, we had one last year, which made it incredibly special. There's no doubt about it. We know, Carolina Hurricanes fans, the Game 7 of 2006, that is still being talked about. Literally, the anniversary of that cup was yesterday. And everyone was screaming, you remember that Game 7? Do you remember what happened? Like, you remember those moments. You circle your arms around those moments and you hold on to them. And now we have yet another Game 7. And they are so rare and so special that you want to be a part of it. And athletes understand that. Coaches understand that Game 7. Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder talked about Game 7 and the NBA Finals and getting to this point and how closing out a series like this, because Indiana came out juiced last night. They did in that Game 6 to pretty much wipe up the floor with Oklahoma City. Jalen Williams says closing out finals, it's supposed to be hard.
I think we had the right mindset coming into it. I think there was different things that we didn't do in the game well that hurt us. But closing out in the finals is different from playoff game because it's the end of the season, you know what I mean? And you play for so long that it just has more weight to it. Obviously, you want to win a championship, and you don't want it to feel like it was all for nothing. So that's been the biggest difference between closing out now as opposed to a Denver series or Minnesota. And I feel like they probably felt that way too. For them being down 3-2, knowing that your season's on the line and you're in the finals, just has more weight to it.
It's taking that last final as a college student. It's wrapping up that final EOG test as a junior in high school. You feel those moments, and I'm trying to equate it a little bit to make it a little bit more real for a lot of people as you come down to those final moments. Maybe it's that lottery ball flash light game that they play in between periods of the Carolina Hurricanes where you're the last person standing, right? And you've waited all this time to get to that moment. And when you get there, there's that amount of joy. But it took you so long to get there that you're like, oh, man, there's disappointment. But Game 7s are so rare. Sweeps seem to happen all the time. The gentleman's sweep, as they say in sports, the 5-game series, seems to happen all the time. And you see the best of threes. We're going to have one in the College World Series coming up. You see those one-and-done games, the wild card game in Major League Baseball or the wild card game when you get down to it in March Madness or the NFL playoffs. But a Game 7, they don't play 7 Super Bowls. It's not the best of 4 when it comes to that. In the World Cup, it is the last game. It is not, we're going to play the best 4 of 7. 7s are incredibly special. You don't get to see them all the time, which makes Sunday night that much more important for the NBA to deliver. You hope it's not a clunker. I hope it's not a dud when it comes to a Game 7. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Paul Ihander in for Tim. Max Gorn producing today. Coming up next, should the Canes bring Brent Burns back? We'll discuss.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the offseason, but it doesn't mean me and my co-host, WREL TV's Chris Lee, take a break from our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp approaches, insights on the rookies, the free agents, and the surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Did you catch Luisito's header?
Yeah, I just recorded it on my new Samsung A36 5G phone I got for free at Total Wireless.
Oh, I'm actually live streaming the whole match with my new Samsung Tab A9 that I also got free at Total Wireless.
I got that tablet too.
And I got that phone too. We both got both. Go!
Switch to Total Wireless and get both the Samsung A36 5G and the Samsung Tab A9 for free. For a limited time while supplies last, valid in store. Requires new phone activation on the Total 5G Unlimited plan or higher external port and ID verification and new activation on the Total 5G Unlimited 3-month tablet plan. Restrictions apply.
Every season can be punishing for your roof. Mother Nature is a fierce opponent that doesn't take a break, which is why you need RoofWorks on your building maintenance team. Hi, this is Holly from RoofWorks. We specialize in keeping your commercial roof in great condition no matter what the issue may be. We offer roof inspections, roof repairs, and if needed, a full roof replacement. We help determine if there's a problem with your roof and advise you on the most cost-effective way to handle it. Contact us today at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
Hey, it's Victoria with 99.9 The Fan with a Men's Health Month tip from WakeMed Heart and Vascular. Each year, smoking causes more than 480,000 deaths in the United States. That's nearly 1 in 5 deaths. Those aren't odds you want to play with. Don't put off kicking the habit. In just 1 year after quitting, a person's risk for coronary heart disease decreases by half. Learn more about how you can quit and get started today, plus other ways to care for your heart at wakemed.org.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Baby, come back. It's Ambrosia, right? No? Who is this? Paul Ihander with you. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Max Gorn with the music selections on this Friday afternoon, the first day, half day of summer and last day of spring kind of thing. Baby, come back. I've played this a million times. God, this is going to bother me. Who is this?
It's Player.
Player. Okay. I worked at a soft rock station like way back in the day when they used to call it soft rock. KSND 95.1 The Sound is what we were. And I remember playing Player. Ambrosia.
It is similar to Ambrosia.
It does have that vibe, right? Christopher Cross, some light Bee Gees. We can do all those kinds of things. There are people listening right now like, what in the hell is he talking about? I have no clue. Ambrosia. I remember eating some of that once. Yeah, I'm digging a deep hole there. Should we bring Brent Burns back? Carolina Hurricanes earlier this afternoon signed Eric Robinson to a 4-year deal, averaging $1.7 million a year. It gets the Carolina Hurricanes closer to the floor that the NHL has set for minimum spending. Carolina Hurricanes had to do only one thing. To be fair, to be real, the Carolina Hurricanes' list of offseason acquisitions really only had to involve spending $3 million. That was it. They do not have to spend $28 million. That gets them to the top of what they are allowed to spend in the NHL salary cap this year, which is just slightly north of $95 million. The team only had to spend $3 million or so. Eric Robinson re-signed this afternoon. $1.7 million. So they've spent roughly half of that. So to get slightly over to where they need, they have roughly $2 million to spend. They have needs. Head coach Rhonda Brind'Amour has said they have needs. Eric Tulsky knows they have needs. Hi, guys. I know you're listening. So where are those needs best addressed? One would say you could lean towards what head coach Rod Brind'Amour told Adam Gold during yesterday's program, the Adam Gold Show, about bringing Brent Burns back.
Yeah, well, we do love him. I mean, he's still a very, very, very good hockey player, and I think, I think we mentioned it before. Like, I think him this year was a really good year because he ended up having to play the most against the best players. Him and Slavo got the tough matchup the whole year, and where he hadn't really had that in the previous years he was with us, just because of the makeup of our group. So he kind of got thrust in there. I thought, obviously, we did a pretty good job. I mean, we're one of the better defensive teams in the NHL. The tough part is we know he's getting up there.
Yeah.
And yet I also know that, sometimes that just people just assume you're getting slower and less shape and this and that, when really, he takes pretty good care of himself. So if he was 25, we wouldn't be talking about it, and he's in as good a shape as guys that are 25. So sometimes you have to take that out and just kind of look at it for what it is. Maybe if we got him in a better matchup, would that certainly help? I think it would, because he's still an elite player. You watch when he gets the puck on his stick, good things happen, and so strong still. Exits the zone on the penalty kill. There's just a lot of positives there. Not to mention all the intangibles he brings. So, we've talked about that a lot. I would love to see him come back. That's, kind of out of my hands. It's between, Brent. I know he wants to come back, but there's a business side of it, and we all know how that works. So we'll see where that ends up. And, it also probably determines where we go as far as, you talk about the cap space and how you use it with free agents and blah, blah, blah. Well, there's not a ton of free agents out there to go get, and everybody's got cap space.
Yeah.
So, and so that's not as easy as people think.
If the Carolina Hurricanes go big game hunting, there are defensemen out there that could make an impact, that they could spend part of that big pool that they still have left. The Carolina Hurricanes, even after signing Robinson today, which I believe was very good value, which I believe does great things for Robinson in providing stability, and also for Carolina as they look at the analytics and what they're trying to spend and how much they're spending for, they got good rate for the production that he provides. Like, it's almost a gosh darn steal. It's like finding a classic car in the garage that's owned by the lady that only drove it 5 miles a month. It's almost that kind of a deal. I'm not saying that Eric Robinson's going to be the classic of classic cars and next year he's going to explode for 30 goals and 30 assists. But the Carolina Hurricanes did their due diligence, and analytically speaking, it's a good deal. But now you look at Brent Burns. And Brent Burns in an area where right now the Carolina Hurricanes have 6 defensemen signed. Officially 6. They could run with the 6 and not worry about it. Nikishin, Morrow, who could be ready for prime time, could not be. Slavo, Jacob Slavin, Jalen Chatfield, Sean Walker, and Shane Gostisbehere. They've got 6. They don't have to do a darn thing. But the Carolina Hurricanes are known to carry an extra defenseman, someone to sit up in the press box. I'm not sure if it helps for Scott Morrow to sit upstairs. Just putting that one out there. But there is some value in Brent Burns. And you look at Brent Burns and what he was acquired for. Remember, San Jose paid $4 million, retained $4 million because they didn't want him anymore. They did not want him anymore, so they paid half of his salary for him to go away. Now, there's other things that go along with that, and that's pretty simple explanation. But when you look at it, they couldn't figure out a way, or didn't want to figure out a way, on how to keep him. So they sent him to the Carolina Hurricanes. And the Hurricanes retained him for $4 million. That's what Brent Burns was worth to the Carolina Hurricanes while under contract here, was $4 million. You are not telling me a guy that played in the majority of the season for the Carolina Hurricanes is worth $2 million. If you could get Brent Burns for $2 million, Because remember, his value was only 4. His value was 4 to you on the number. And you don't ask him next year to play against the best of the NHL night in and night out. That $2 million in this brand new economy of the NHL is worth it to this team. And I would say Eric Tulsi is going to take a hard look at it. He's going to take a very hard look at it and go, do I want to bring in somebody new, maybe a little younger, maybe a little bit more offensive-minded when it comes to a guy who plays on the blue line? Or am I comfortable in going back to Rod Brind'Amour? And I know Canes fans are like, oh my God, Paul, I can't believe you're suggesting this. You go back to Rod Brind'Amour and you go, your guy is staying. We want him here. And the numbers actually work. And this is where subtlety holds true with Rod Brind'Amour. He'll joke. He'll lay it out there like it is. You'll get the, from Rod Brind'Amour. But during that talk with Adam Gold, he goes, well, he brings intangibles. He brings in things that others cannot provide if they walk into the locker room anew. And I'm not saying the culture, which we have heard so much about Florida, they're so welcoming. Brad Marchand, they're so welcoming. And listen, the Stanley Cup champions, so I'm mocking them just a little because I'm bitter. Because I want to have a parade. I want to see drunk Sebastian Aho doing Instagram lives at 3 o'clock in the morning. I think that would be kind of fun, right? It'd be kind of funny. But I think he was making his case to keep Brent Burns. And maybe some of that's loyalty. Some of you are out there and I see it and I hear it. And I've listened to your conversations and some of you have told me flat out, Rod loves Brent Burns. He said it like within the first 2 seconds of Adam Gold saying, I love Brent Burns.
No, we love the guy.
I'd love for him to come back. He does bring intangibles. Is it in the new NHL economy worth $2 million or maybe even $3 million? Because the Canes have a ton of cap space, and whatever big fish they may or may not be going for with this $26 million that they have left, they're not spending $26 million on one player. You can go get help in a number of positions. We have talked about how this team needs help at center. That's pretty clear, but that's going to have to be a trade. Unless they want to pay for a John Tavares. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Maybe that's the guy. Maybe they go after other big fish. Maybe that's the play for the Carolina Hurricanes as they go, you know what? Brad Marchand's not that bad of a dude. We'll pay him $7 million for the next 2 seasons because we feel our window is right now. And the window right now was 2 years ago for the Canes. And the window right now was last year for the Canes. Is the window right now because here's the bit. Eric Tulsi has to do something about this team. He cannot sit on his hands. As much as he can and would be allowed to under the NHL salary cap rules, he only has to sign a dude for $2 million. And that's it. He doesn't have to do a thing. But this team didn't win a Stanley Cup. And that's the goal. And as envious as other teams will be that the Carolina Hurricanes made it this far, and I respect Rod for that, and I respect his belief for that, but I'm not other teams. I'm not the Montreal Canadiens. I'm not the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm not satisfied by seeing you or this team get to the final 4 NHL teams standing. I want a cup. The fans, I'm a fan. I want the cup. I want to hoist a cup. I want to see these guys hoist a cup. I want to see them skate around as much as Rod Brind'Amour and that crew and Justin Williams and Cam Ward and those guys got to skate around with their cup as well. There's a generation of Carolina Hurricanes fans right now that are turning the age of 20 who don't have that memory. And I hope that's something that the front office takes into account too. As much as this area, as much as this town, as much as the Triangle loves the Carolina Hurricanes, there's a group of Hurricanes fans who have not seen that and only get to see it through grainy video and the newspaper article we have posted outside the studios here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 24. I don't really remember. I like my parents tell me that maybe I was watching, or my mom tells me I was watching when my dad was in the arena for Game 7, but I don't really remember. All I see is I've seen every YouTube highlight. I've watched like the championship DVD a bunch of times, but I don't really remember. The earliest playoff memories I have are from 2009. So, and I had to go to bed before most of those games were over because I was 8 years old.
So, for fans, and I get it, there's some entitlement, and you've invested in this team. You've shed more than enough tears, I promised, and had more than enough moist pork and brisket out in those parking lots when you tailgate, and crushed enough cans, and cleaned up after yourselves after events too, that you're invested and you want to see the same things. We all want to see those same things. And I hope the brain trust over at Lenovo Center understands that too. And I'm sure they do. I'm sure they have the best interest every time they make a trade. Eric Tulsky's the first one to realize and understood the Rantanen trade wasn't the best trade. They made the chicken salad out of the you-know-what after that one, and we do enjoy ourselves some Logan Stankoven served up to us. We do love us some Logan Stankoven. But we want a cup. We'll chant it. We'll chant it out loud every single time. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Paul Eihander in for Tim today. Appreciate him letting me sit in. He will be back on Monday, I totally promise. But we still have another full hour with you. The starting five on the way here on 99.9 The Fan.
The Adam Gold Show.
Minicamp is great. I love the optimism around the wide receiver position. It all comes back to Bryce Young, though, doesn't it? Look, he was so good at the end of the year last year, but I just don't know what level of importance, what value to place on games in which it did not matter whether or not Carolina won or lost. Not that there wasn't value, I'm just skeptical about it.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Hot summer days mean time on the water. Let Soundstation and Security make your time even better with our custom boat options. At Soundstation and Security, our Raleigh Marine experts can help you for everything with your boat, from the perfect audio system to lights to video. We do it all custom, and we do it all from scratch. You're unique. Your boat should be too. Make sure everyone knows where the best party is this summer on the lake with Soundstation and Security. With 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
NASCAR Prime is gearing up for the Tricky Triangle at Pocono.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
After 5 decades of racing tradition, it's clear that strategy is king at Pocono.
Finally, some separation between first, second, and third.
3 legendary turns, 3 unique approaches.
Wow, that's close.
Who will tame the triangle this year? Don't miss the Cup Series at Pocono, streaming Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Let's freaking go!
NASCAR, it's on Prime.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Do you have a wedding anniversary coming up? Don't just mark the day. Make it unforgettable with Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Shop their exquisite selection of designer jewelry, or consider upgrading your original engagement ring with the diamond she really deserves. Whether this is the 1st or 31st anniversary, celebrate your love with something special, wrapped in a black and white striped box from Bailey's. Voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the Coast. Every woman wants a Bailey box. Visit us today in store or at BaileyBox.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. Not a bad afternoon. Lots of sunshine, a nice breeze, and lower humidity. Tonight we'll get down to about 69. We could see a little bit of patchy fog. And then mostly sunny Saturday, a high of 93. It gets hotter on Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 96.
Weather report brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money at the closing bell. Dow Jones up 35 points to 42,206.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It's been a great Friday hanging out with all of you today. Paul Ihander here. Normally, you hear me in the mornings at 9 o'clock during Next Up right here on this same frequency, or if you're listening on your Alexa smart speaker and you've said, hey, play 99.9 The Fan, welcome. Tim will be back on Monday, I promise. Max Gorin has been here all week. He is still here as well. And it is time for our starting five, our five biggest stories of the day. And we start with numero cinco.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now Roslovic, who had his first of this postseason, a power play goal, helps lead this across. Robinson, he goes under the crossbar and scores! It's a good goal for Eric Robinson. His first of the postseason, and it's 3-0 Carolina.
And we'll take it every single time. We'll take it even more times from Eric Robinson. The Carolina Hurricanes made their first official move of the offseason. The comings and goings and the stayings. Eric Robinson staying with the Carolina Hurricanes, signed today to a 4-year contract extension. The value, $1.7 million through 2028-2029. 14 goals, 18 assists, playing all 82 games in the regular season for the Carolina Hurricanes, and 15 playoff appearances. Not too bad for a guy they signed for $800,000. Not too bad at all. So where does this leave the Carolina Hurricanes? Well, the Carolina Hurricanes now with Eric Robinson locked down on that, I don't know, what do you want to call that fourth line now? I mean, we're kind of figuring out who's going to center that line, I believe, still. If it's Kotkaniemi or if it's a Jankowski. But you got Will Carrier, and now you've got Eric Robinson. Is this the breakaway line? Like, I kind of like that, right? Guys that just kind of skate and just kind of roll towards the goal, and whatever happens, happens. The breakaway line.
I don't mind that.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, if it's just like a self-fulfilling prophecy thing, where if you call it the breakaway line, they like get a bunch more breakaways.
That would work. I always saw Robinson. The one thing about Robinson that always just kind of messed with me is that he would get like clear one-on-one opportunities, and it took him, and he finally got to cash one into the postseason. Like every time he was on a breakaway, he'd be like, oh, he got stoned or hit the post or something like that. And I was like, dude, come on, cash one in. And he got to cash one in. And now Eric Robinson's going to cash a bigger check for the Carolina Hurricanes, which is great news for Carolina Hurricanes fans. But what does this mean now for Carolina? Carolina locking down a very important winger. And what this tells you about Robinson is he gained the trust of Rod Brind'Amour. He produced just enough to make it happen. And I started thinking to myself, I mean, what is this like? I believe it resets the market for a guy like Eric Robinson. If you're looking for comparables, his comp is Montreal's Christian Dvorak. And I tweeted this out earlier. He's also an unrestricted free agent. Dvorak, who played for Montreal, is pretty much Eric Robinson just playing north of the border. Same height, same shot selection, nearly identical numbers. But the differences between Dvorak and Robinson, who got paid $800,000 last year, who got 14 goals, Dvorak had 12 and was getting paid $4.45 million and had a 6-year contract, which just ran out. So not great news for him if you're looking for comps. But what it does tell me is that in the new era of NHL salary cap, in which now teams are operating with $95+ million, is that you better get your bargains while you can get them. Is that when it comes to a guy like Eric Robinson, who is a fourth-line guy because of the glut of wingers that the Carolina Hurricanes team possesses and could still be in the market for more wingers, let's be honest, because they got a lot of money to work with, that this is what you're going to have to pay. That you're not going to be able to grab guys like an Eric Robinson for $800,000 anymore. That you're going to have to pay just a little bit more, and that you hope that a sweet analytics deal that the Carolina Hurricanes got with Eric Robinson can continue. But Eric Tulsky knows, and I know it too, because I can read between the lines and see the numbers, that these don't come along often. that if you're going to get hometown discounts and you're going to get love from guys that you love, boy, you better strike while the iron's hot. And I think, to be honest, if you're talking about getting business done, the next one has to be Logan Stankoven. If you're going to get that little sweet little discount that you hope to get in this new era of NHL salary cap spending, then it's going to have to be that guy, and he has to be next. But congrats to the Hurricanes, making their first official move of the offseason. Eric Robinson, 4 years, $1.7 million a year. Number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
So, the college football playoff and college football right now seems to be in a weird bit. A weird spot to where they cannot decide, and they have, as we just got done counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more months to figure it out. The college football playoff, in which the commissioners of all the football conferences got together at the Biltmore this past week, and after 3 days of hashing it out, having the finest that Asheville can deliver, they could not come to an agreement on what to do with the college football playoff next year. They figured it out this year. It's the last year of the current television deal, where next year they're going to get paid a truckload of more money, and they would love to make a truckload of more money more. This year, no more automatic qualifying for the conference champions, but still stuck at 12 teams. The decision now has to be, moving forward into 2026, whether they expand to 14, whether they expand to 16, or whether they hold it at status quo. And the decisions that have to be made trickle all the way down throughout all of college football. And you're thinking to yourself, Paul, no. The SEC and the Big Ten have all the cards at this table. You've been telling us for weeks that the SEC and the Big Ten want 4 teams to get in. And that is true. That is the model when it comes to the 16-team college football playoff. And the ACC, the little brother that got invited to the table, would get 2. Here's the issue. The idea of tiered play. If those of you who follow sports follow closely, and those of you I do know who listen to this program know college basketball real well, you are familiar with Tier 1 and Tier 2 wins. I'm sorry, Quad 1 and Quad 2 wins. And those quads keep going down. The SEC does not want to have anything but Quad 1 wins. There are rules in place among the Power 4 that you need to play other Power 4 conferences at least once a year, which is why we see all this weird kind of ducking, diving, dodging, ditching, and dodging when it comes to college football scheduling. It's why Ole Miss is still pissed at Wake Forest for dumping their game, and Wake Forest had to go run to Oregon and went to run to Oregon State to make sure that that still qualified as a power conference schedule. Ole Miss is like, seriously, y'all? You paid us $1 million to buy out, and now we got to figure it out? Regardless, Ole Miss is in the big bad SEC. And the SEC wants to make sure that their wins are Quad 1 wins, which means they're not quite sure they want to play a 9-team SEC schedule or they want to play an 8-team SEC schedule. And until the SEC, and let's be honest, they hold most of the cards at this poker table, and the Big Ten figure it out, this decision will get drug on further and further and further towards that deadline, into which expect some decision November 30th that they won't expand at all. And we are stuck at 12. And I'm okay being stuck at 12. But if I'm the ACC and I'm the Big 12, I tell big brothers to hash it out. Go fight it out in the lobby. Go out to the parking lot and duel with pistols, whatever it takes. Go before the High Council, John Wick style. I don't care what it is. Figure it out. If I'm the ACC, the more seats I have at that table, the better. And if I'm only going to get 2, then I better enjoy those 2. On to number 3.
All the way around to Perry. Skates to stick. Here's McDavid. Working past Eichel. McDavid. Oh, Draisaitl. Scores! McDavid and Draisaitl combine for the game winner.
The NHL is in the silly season. I said it a couple of days ago, and then everybody started printing it. It was kind of weird. I said, the NHL's entered the silly season. And then all of a sudden in headlines, the NHL has entered its silly season. Well, I'm glad I jumped on that trend first. Because the NHL is in that silly season. So silly that guys who have been in retirement are now signing with their hometown teams. Jonathan Toews, who's been out of the league for almost 2 seasons, is going to go home. He's going to play in Winnipeg. Played for Chicago. Unfortunate story with him. He had long COVID. Could not catch his breath, could not get back to where he's playing, but spent a ton of time in rehab. Even went to India for some body cleansing detox. Not Aaron Rodgers cleansing crazy, but apparently he's healthy and he's ready to go and he's going to go play for Winnipeg. And he's a center. Of course he's a center. Why can't we have a center? Why can't we have nice things?
I mean, I don't feel like the Canes are necessarily missing out on anything here. I remember 2 seasons ago, I was working with a company called Sports Media Technology over in Durham, and my assignment was primarily Blackhawks games.
Okay.
And Toews was still on the team, and they were very bottom of the barrel basement, and he was still there, and he was playing along, and it wasn't all that impressive. Now that 2 years have gone by and he hasn't played, I don't think we're missing out on anything. But I think the interesting thing with this signing is the salary structure. I don't know if you saw this.
It's tiered.
Yes. The base salary, $2 million. Bonus after 20 regular season games, $550,000. Then 30, another $550,000. Then 40, then 50, then 60. And then a bunch of bonuses in the playoffs where it ultimately adds up to $5.25 million or $7 million if they win the cup and he plays half the games. I am just really curious, what does this count as against the cap?
That is, you know what? The Carolina Hurricanes did it with Freddie Anderson. You hit minimum games, we're gonna kick you some money. We're gonna kick you some cash. So it's not unheard of. Wow, right out of the Tulski playbook, Winnipeg. Well done. Well done. Setting the trend. See, we're setting trends here. But the NHL is going to be dealing with a Sam problem out of Florida. Is this like a Sam missile? Could we call it a Sam missile? More than anything else? It seems that while the agent says there's no done, I have a feeling that the player knows more than the agent at this point. Sam Bennett, early this morning, partying at the Club 11 in Miami, says he ain't going nowhere.
Everyone, quiet. I hear what you're saying. I don't have much to say. Yeah, if you have one thing to say.
The bleeps are expletives. Sorry, kids. I know. Sorry, moms and dads. You have to explain what that beep means. Sam Bennett says he's not going anywhere. He's not leaving Florida. Going to be a sweetheart deal. It's going to be a sweetheart deal because of the culture. Because when you go into that locker room, it feels like you're not a stranger. It feels like we can all have Dairy Queen together. We can all have good times. And so that means one more target. Not that the Carolina Hurricanes were going to target Sam Bennett, but other teams might have had pipe dreams, right? Because everybody's looking for studs. And so while Mitch Marner still sits out there as the prime piece of meat, so to speak, and John Tavares and Brent Burns and an Aaron Ekblad, and now I wonder if Bennett's coming back, how much they're going to be able to pay Ekblad, because other guys got to go. Would you be okay? And because I saw him play in Las Vegas for several seasons, would you be okay with the Carolina Hurricanes acquiring a Nate Schmidt? A Nate Schmidt.
It's a very solid veteran presence. I think I saw something on X, formerly Twitter, earlier today about he was their leader in expected goal share this year.
He's a veteran hand and plays like a veteran. Not savvy, not slow, not quirky or whatnot. He plays a solid game. He's a third pair guy. They didn't ask him to do anything more than that. So do you chase after that? Do you chase after an Ivan Provorov? Do you chase after a Brock Besser, who the Vancouver Canucks are pretty much resigned that he's not coming back? Jamie Benn definitely ain't going back to Dallas unless he's playing for $800,000, and I don't think that's happening at all. He can go get a Stamkos deal. No, someone else will pay me, I promise. Someone else will pay me. But we are in the NHL silly season. And as we mentioned, the Carolina Hurricanes got something done earlier today as they re-signed Eric Robinson 4 years, $1.7 million a year. On to numero dos.
Just the two of us.
College World Series.
It means more.
Oh, jeez. Yes, it does. College World Series going to get underway in Omaha. We are down to the final two teams, Coastal Carolina and LSU. You will hear the series right here. Listen to it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. And if it makes it to a Monday night, we'd have a Game 3 as well between these two teams. But Omaha has been the place to be, with all the parity that came along with the 8 teams that got there, and now down to 2 between Coastal and LSU. We asked D1 Baseball's Daron Vaught, the man, the myth, on how we ended up with Coastal Carolina and the Tigers.
Not necessarily, but with that being said, I don't know that this should be a huge shocker to anyone. I mean, these are two 50-plus win teams. Coastal Carolina is carrying the longest win streak into the College World Series final in history, now 26 games in a row. They've been really good all year. And honestly, if Coastal Carolina had an SEC or ACC patch on their uniform, this is hindsight being 2020, but they probably would have been a top 5 ranked team long ago, just because of the way they have gone about their business this season. And LSU, I think they have been one of the upper echelon SEC teams all year, but I am probably like most people in that I saw them ranking maybe behind the likes of an Arkansas or even maybe an Auburn, or Texas had a good year and was the number 1 team in the country for a while. So, you know, it is a sneaky matchup for sure. I think it's safe to say it snuck up on us, but it's a really, really good one. These are two very deserving teams.
And it comes with two very, 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 very talented head coaches in Kevin Schnall and Jay Johnson. Of LSU. Schnall at Coastal, Johnson at LSU. Schnall was there when they won their championship back in 2016. And a year after being named head coach has taken them back to the national championship. And Jay Johnson has one from just 2 seasons ago with LSU and was there when he was there in Arizona as well. So experience matters. It will come down to essentially an interesting chess match between these two teams. Again, all weekend long, you can listen to those games right here on 99.9 The Fan. Just to remember the starting 5, brought to you by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com. And our number 1.
The one!
The NBA Finals, Game 7. It's been 9 years since we've had a Game 7 in the NBA, and how special these are. These games are, boy, you could... What do you do? You throw out the rule book, right? You give everything you possibly can to describe these games because it's one and done. You're over. There's nothing left to play for. And on Sunday night, you can listen to the game right here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm giving you all the promos and all the highlights. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and a hobbled Tyrese Halliburton will go at it with the veteran likes of Pascal Siakam on one side and Jalen Williams on the other in a fight to the death in Oklahoma City, in which Shai Gilgeous-Alexander talked about playing in that Game 7, and he understands the high drama. So much drama. Plenty of drama.
You ever dreamed of? If you win it, you get everything. If you lose it, you get nothing. And it's that simple.
Are you sensing any differences in the difficulty of closing out a finals versus closing out any other playoff series?
No, I see it as the same thing. Like in round 2, if we had lost, I would have been just as disappointed. We would have went home and our season would have been over. And if we lose, the season's over in the wrong way. So either way, I would have been extremely disappointed. So I don't think it's much different.
You know, we are fair and balanced here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, Paul Eihander in for Tim today. Rick Carlisle, head coach of the Indiana Pacers, also echoed SGA's thoughts on a Game 7.
One game. I mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, this is what you dream about growing up, this kind of opportunity. It's a very difficult place to play. We know that. But the opportunity to play in a game like this is a great honor and a great privilege.
I'm looking forward to the montage at the end of the series once it's over, whoever wins, to Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On. Because at some point it will reach that stage of Titanic drama. And last night's game did not hit 200 points. It's the first game that did not get there. And I don't believe Oklahoma City quit. They just ran into a buzzsaw, juiced up Indiana Pacers team.
It was also OKC's lowest point total of the season.
They just had
91.
nothing. There was nothing going on. And, you know, after the third quarter, they're down 30 points. Siakam hitting fadeaway threes and dunks, and Halliburton hitting ridiculous shots from logos, and they knew it. Like, let's regroup. Not one starter played in the fourth quarter for Oklahoma City. Like, that towel was already tossed in. It was all about, all right, let's regroup. We're going home Sunday night. This is where we're going to play. If you're a basketball fan, just a pure basketball fan, this has been a very entertaining series. This has nothing to do with the fact that it's not in Chicago or doesn't feature LeBron James or whatnot. This series has been so much more about just basketball than anything else. No one has been asked silly questions, weird questions, or whatnot. There have been no headline-making things outside of the brief blip that came along with should Rick Carlisle have played Tyrese Halliburton in that game or not. It doesn't even matter now. That's just like the footnote in this last chapter of the NBA season that has been written, and it has been incredibly entertaining. You have been introduced to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in a way that you could have never thought. Like, he creates opportunities for himself. He is deadly within just a handful of feet from the basket and can do so from outside and creates his own business. And for a guy who's 6'6" and looks kind of slight, let's be honest, when he dribbles, he takes an awful lot of contact and he bounces up like nothing happened. And the same way happens with the rest of the youth of that team. Like I said the other day on the show that I host on 99.9 The Fan next up every morning at 9 o'clock, I said Oklahoma City doesn't know any better. Like, they're just out there playing just almost street basketball. They just run up and down the court and try to tire you out. And the thing about the Pacers is they're able to keep pace. That's not a pun. That's just what they do. But they have a veteran guy. Alex Caruso is the veteran guy for Oklahoma City. Pascal Siakam, who has won a title and has a ring, is the veteran guy for Indiana, and they've been leaning on him hard. Like, he turned in a 30-plus combined points, rebounds, assist performance in the win last night. And they will expect him to do the same because Indiana is such a balanced team. But I fully expect Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to score 40 on Sunday night. 40. Like, he should have 20 in the first quarter. I'm not that sure if that'll be a prop, but I think he's going to want to take over mightily. And he's going to just say, just give me the ball. Just give me the ball. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to create for you guys. And, whether it's Chet Holmgren out there or, whether it's Caruso or Hartenstein or whatever it is, he'll be out there distributing and creating because he's better when he has assists just as much as he has points. Because if he got assists, that means he's seeing the court very clearly. And I was wrong. I will say I was wrong yesterday morning by saying Oklahoma City was not going to go back to OKC without a championship. I was way off. I will admit that completely. But I'm not sure in a Game 7 that Indiana can take that away from Oklahoma City on their home court. I'm just not positive that will happen. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Paul Eihander in for Tim today. We need some numbers game contestants. 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326. Your chance to compete in the numbers game. We have a $50 gift card to Apex Racing Lab up for grabs. That's the number if you want to get in on this Friday. 919-860-5326. The numbers game on 99.9 The Fan is next.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Something you always have to make sure you are ready to do before you get on a motorcycle is, are you physically able to handle the motorcycle? I've been dealing with a little bit of a back injury that I suffered playing hockey, and guess what? Getting on a motorcycle and trying to handle a bike isn't the smartest thing to do right now. That's why I got to make sure that I am fit and ready to go before I get on a motorcycle to make sure that I am safe when I'm out there on the road. But if I am injured in a motorcycle accident, this is where Law Tigers comes in. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, even before you contact the insurance company. Law Tigers, they're there for you because they are part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Hey, it's Victoria with 99.9 The Fan. It's Men's Health Month, and WakeMed Heart and Vascular would like to remind you that stress and anger can have negative effect on your body, and if continued over time, can cause major problems like headache, upset stomach, insomnia, high blood pressure, and maybe even a heart attack or stroke. So take a time out, relax, take a deep breath, and walk it off. Manage your stress, and your heart will thank you. Learn more about caring for your heart at wakemed.org.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
I am here with Patrick Day of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I'm on your website. Gutter helmets right on the front of the website. Do you have a gutter helmet to fit my head? I have a small head.
We have a gutter helmet for every head, Adam. So anyhow, if you give us a call, we'll come out and take a look at your windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, and of course we can do the gutter helmet. We have financing programs that are really good. So we have like 12 months with 0 payments for 12 months. You don't have to pay anything. So if you're thinking about home improvements and you're thinking you're saving up for it, just come on and see us and we'll go ahead and get you set up and get your project done, and you can pay in 12 months from now.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. If it's for the exterior of your home, there is no better place than the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online, aluminumcompany.com. Siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, and the world-famous gutter helmets. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 1-800-672-4348.
You know, we can make it real easy for you. We have one contestant. We need another. 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326. You can play the numbers game. We have one contestant. We had one drop, so it means it's open right now. We have Malik and Raleigh available to us. And we need just one more. 919-860-5326. Your chance to compete in the numbers game and win a $50 gift card to Apex Racing Lab. And if you haven't been out there, it is a ball. There's no doubt about it. And with that brand new F1 movie that's coming out, I think it's prime time. Like the place is going to get crowded. If you can't win your way in right now with us, you're probably going to want to make sure that you get over there, because they had the premiere of that F1 racing movie with Brad Pitt. And they actually filmed it during the F1 series back in 2023. So it's actually like legit. And Brad Pitt actually trained on one of the F1 cars. And they say he's actually a pretty good driver. All right, we've got Malik and Raleigh and Greg in Wake Forest. We will go to Malik first. And Raleigh, Malik, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, Malik. Simple question for you as we try to figure out who gets to go first. It's a little bit more than a coin flip when it comes to this game. Max will be the ultimate decider when it comes to this. When you, back in the day or current day, needed a go-to summer song in your vehicle that just made you feel good, what song was it?
Will Smith, Summertime.
Will Smith, Summertime. All right, we'll go with that. Malik and Raleigh, Will Smith, Summertime. Greg in Wake Forest. Can you hear me, friend?
I can.
All right, Greg, same question goes to you as we decided who gets to go first in the numbers game. If you're jamming in the car, that go-to summer song that makes you feel good.
Oh, man.
Maybe a Good Day by Nappy Roots.
Good Day by Nappy Roots. This is a good selection too. All right, hang on. I don't want to sway the vote by any means. Hang on, Greg. The guy that's going to make the decision, Max, is he's the record aficionado. He's got crates over there right now, getting ready to spin the tunes. If it's Malik or Greg, who are we going with, Max?
I'm a big Will Smith fan. I
Okay.
love some DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, so I'm going to go with Malik.
All right, Malik's up first, but that's okay. Nappy Roots. Love me some Nappy Roots, Greg. Good choice. I dig that. But you will still get your chance. You will get to go second as Malik will set the bar for us. Malik, are you ready to roll here?
Yes, sir.
All right, so 30 seconds on the clock. You get one pass as we move forward. We've got a number. Oh, you clearly got a crowd behind you, so we'll let that settle down a bit. Let me give you the categories here first, since apparently you already know how this game goes. NFL mid-June birthdays. All these players were born in the middle of June. NFL Rookie of the Year podium finishes, but were not Rookie of the Year. NBA triple-doubles. Any player, active player right now, all these are active players who have at least 2 triple-doubles in their career, and, of course, hurricanes throughout history.
I'm going to go with the NFL one, the first one.
NFL mid-June birthdays.
Yes, sir.
All right. 30 seconds on the clock. You do get one pass. Just shout them out if you got them, and when you hear the horn, that's pretty much the end of things. Malik, are you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. When you hear the horn, the time will start. Kurt Warner, Arizona Cardinals.
13.
Correct. Champ Bailey, Denver Broncos.
31.
Incorrect. LaDainian Tomlinson, San Diego Chargers.
21.
Correct. Antonio Gates, San Diego Chargers.
85.
Correct. Jericho Cotchery, Carolina Panthers.
18.
Incorrect. Champ Bailey, Denver Broncos.
24.
Correct. Jericho Cotchery, Carolina Panthers.
81.
Jericho Cotchery, Carolina Panthers.
87. I don't know.
Duh. So close. So close. Oh, Malik, we were there. We were there. The 18 tripped you up. Kurt Warner, 13. Champ Bailey, 24. LaDainian Tomlinson, 21. Antonio Gates, 85. Jericho Cotchery with the Panthers in that season he played here, 82.
I knew it was 80. I knew it had to be 80.
Yeah, you were leaning. You were right. You were in that wheelhouse. That's why I tried to get back there as quickly as I could. But that's all right. 4 is a great number for a Friday. Malik, stay on the line. Hang on. There's only one way you can be beat, and that is with a perfect score. We are going to run to Greg. Greg, are you with me, friend?
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's the deal. Malik got 4, so you know what you got to do, right?
That's right. Perfect score.
All right. Here we go. So your 3 remaining categories. NFL Rookie of the Year podium finishes, but not Rookie of the Year. NBA triple-doubles, all active players. All of them have at least 2. And NHL, of course, hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go with the NBA.
NBA, all about the triple-doubles. These are all active players who have at least 2 triple-doubles in their career so far. 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass, and the time starts when you hear the horn. Are you good to go, Greg?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Victor Wembanyama, San Antonio Spurs.
1.
Correct. Fred VanVleet, Houston Rockets.
28.
Incorrect. Scotty Barnes, Toronto Raptors.
15.
Incorrect. Fred VanVleet, Houston Rockets.
29.
Incorrect. Scotty Barnes, Toronto Raptors.
Pass.
Jimmy Butler, Golden State Warriors.
6.
Incorrect. Fred VanVleet, Houston Rockets.
28. Sorry, 23.
That's all right. We're out of time, friend. 23, Toronto. Toronto 23. I think that's where you got nailed. Also with Toronto, Scotty Barnes, he has spent his entire career there. He has 6 triple-doubles. He wears the number 4. And Butler, unfortunately, the Warriors swapped out numbers. He's 10.
Okay.
10 in Golden State. But, Greg, appreciate you. Hey, man, call in anytime. Hope you had some fun with us.
Yes, sir. We'll do. Thank you.
All right. That means, Malik, you are our winner, friend. Congratulations. What was that? I missed out on that. I couldn't hear over the loud crowd that was applauding you.
Oh, I said the 4-time champion.
The 4-time champion with a 4. With a 4. We're going to get you that 5, man. I know you've got some perfect scores. That will reward you later down the line. You know this.
Yes, sir.
You know this. Hey, Malik, appreciate you calling in. Congratulations on the dub.
Thank you.
All right. There's our numbers game. Good battle there. Always great to have a good fight at the end of the week. You know, sometimes, and I know yesterday's was a little rough when Tim was hosting. He had a 1-0. And the Offers, we want you to succeed. We love the perfect scores. We love the fact that, everybody wants to, be a part of it and get in on the game. And that's it's a great thing. It's a really great thing. Got some news here that has just come out. Just like recently. It's not quite breaking news, but you remember the story just a couple of days ago. The Tampa Bay Rays had a letter of intent signed in front of them saying that they were in exclusive discussions about selling the team. $1.8 billion was the asking price, as Stu Sternberg is looking to get out of the Rays. He's had, some run. At this point, it's probably irreparable between him and the Tampa Bay kind of area, so to speak, when it comes to hey, do you want to build a stadium here? Do you not? Doesn't feel like Sternberg's in on it anymore. And when Hurricane Milton rolled through Tampa last year and, of course, wrecked the crap out of Western North Carolina, and that it tore up Tropicana Field. And Tropicana Field is getting older, and they were looking at a new place to play. It's not quite working out. So, exclusive offer to buy the team, $1.8 million to a real estate developer, Patrick Zalupski, who is out of Jacksonville, and they have put something on the table. Apparently, another group has come forward now, based out of Tampa Bay. It's a hedge fund founder. He's out of Memphis, and his name is Tripp Miller. And the Athletic reporting, he made an all-cash offer last week. And so saying basically the group out of Jacksonville, the real estate guys, there's all real estate guys, who offered $1.7 billion, is in an exclusive negotiating period. But this new guy that's been reported, Tripp Miller is his name, saying if there is an exclusivity period that expires, they would welcome the opportunity to have a deeper discussion about the offer. And what Miller is saying, and again, he's in Memphis, he's not going to relocate the team. He would not move the Rays from Central Florida, but could possibly move to Orlando. So this is a little bit of a twist that comes in with this, basically saying, this is what he's saying, Major League Baseball wants this, saying someone buys the club and also solves the stadium issue. And if you've been keeping up on this, there's an Orlando group that's in play that has funding for a stadium. They are all ready to go. Apparently, they have identified the land and they have identified the funding mechanism. So they would build a stadium. This team would come out of Tampa and move to Central Florida. So that's the thing. It's not a relocation play, quote unquote, to another state, but a relocation play within the state of Florida and just moving up I-4, if you're familiar with the area, going up I-4 to Orlando, about a 90-minute drive, but 2.5 hours if the traffic sucks. So apparently 2 buyers in play, one with a stadium solution, and I would assume that this first offer that came out that was reported just a couple days ago would also have a stadium solution as well, but that one might be central to Tampa. This new one that's just being reported would be central to Central Florida and a move to Orlando, Florida, which really, really wants a baseball team, and that group is together. And again, I'm right now, for those of you watching us on the YouTube channel that are still honed in on that, I mean, I'm wearing my Raleigh 919 hat. I'm wearing a baseball shirt. I love baseball. I mean, I do. I think it's you can have a wonderful night at the ballparks, wherever you go to ballparks around here, whether it's Durham or Holly Springs or wherever. It's funny. I like minor league teams. I'm in love with minor league teams, and I think they're all the Corpus Christi Hooks, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Talk about minor league teams and whatnot. The one I've been meaning to get over there, and I don't have the shirt, but I think it's the Burlington Sock Puppets. I need to get over there and just go get a piece of gear and then go sit in the stands and watch a game. I may just have to make it known, just go over there and just tell people on the air here, hey, I'm going to the Sock Puppets tonight. If y'all want to join me over there, go watch some baseball with me. Just the charm of minor league baseball. and growing up and being able to be a part of it.
It's all about the interesting team names and theme nights and fun uniforms and stuff.
Well, this weekend, I believe it's Morehead City. It's the Crystal Coast Booty.
Yes, the Booty Divers.
The Booty Divers are this weekend in Morehead City. So funny how that all that comes together. By the way, the T-shirt that I have on says Cerveza Baseball. So beer baseball. It's just kind of how I roll. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Paul Eihander in for Tim today. He will be back on Monday. Max is here producing for us as well. Coming up next, he and I are going to make a few picks to send you off to that wild, wild first weekend of summer.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are so difficult. I don't want to take away anything from any other sport, but having covered hockey, the mental, physical, emotional toll it takes, it is so rigorous. To be able to get there 3 years in a row and win 2 is remarkable. Make no mistake about it, this is a dynasty and they're not going anywhere.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Goodness gracious. Send me forget-me-nots. Surprised I know this. Most people just go Will Smith, Men in Black, right? But this is the sample that gives you the Men in Black rap theme song to the movie franchise. So there you go. And then there's like this melody that plays and they do a little harmony and whatnot. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Paul Eihander with you today. Tim will be back on Monday. It's been a long day for a lot of us here at 99.9 The Fan, and it just keeps getting on longer. Just posted, Max is producing, so I'm just talking to Max directly. And you all can check this out at WRAL.com and WRALSportsFan.com. Sports investigative reporter Brian Murphy, along with Ashley Foster, reporter at WRAL, have gotten a bunch of emails and records talking about the fallout of the Bill Belichick interview from CBS Sunday Morning, in which they had a number of emails that head coach Bill Belichick sent to the administration talking about how to deal with some of the fallout that comes with an interview like that, and the interruption by his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, as part of that interview. WRAL got a bunch of texts and emails and whatnot from Belichick between him and the school on how to deal with some of these items and whatnot. And it's starting to make the rounds a little bit. Again, you can read a lot of these, and a lot of the records are there. Again, WRAL.com, but a lot of these, it's just a lot of interviews and a lot of just records upon records upon records and correspondence and whatnot. And this is my issue right now with what is happening at the University of North Carolina and head coach Bill Belichick is that we start again with things like this, and more. I mean, I'm reading on Yahoo Sports too. This is not some big surprise that this is becoming a distraction again from the on-field football product. Just when, just a week ago, we had gotten back to football and the idea of, hey, this is what we're doing in the offseason, and we're getting ready for a TCU game. This is a lot of outside noise, and where the players don't see it and whatnot, and you have the general manager talking about how these are just external distractions that we don't, Michael Lombardi says we don't have to deal with. It is distracting. It is distracting because your fans are seeing this and they haven't seen a snap of football. And your alumni are seeing this and they haven't seen a snap of football, and you trust that this coach and this coaching staff can get these young men ready to play a football season, because that's what this is all supposed to be about. And then you have more of these things coming out, and you have more text messages and emails, and these aren't being leaked. This is what good journalism does. Good journalism asks for public records. Good journalism asks questions that you and I do not ask. And we don't see it as and we shouldn't see it as a slant or whatever it is against a bias against Bill Belichick. This is a genuine interest in the behind the scenes and what is going on with this school and how it is navigating this situation for a coach that has not coached one down of actual football at the college level. Because people are asking for it. And people want to know, and they want to see the car crash. And no one's wishing the ill will of Bill Belichick by any means. I am not. I was the first guy out there saying, why can't we have nice things when everyone else poo-pooed? And I say not everybody else, but a lot of folks were like, nah, Bill Belichick's never going to come to North Carolina. He's not a right fit for that school. He's not welcome there. There's no way he would take that job. And I said, why can't we have nice things? Why can't Carolina have a coach of that caliber? And sure enough, he shows up. And as he shows up, he's been Bill Belichick. But then we get these sideline things and the pictures of them going to games and the beauty pageants and the books and the interruptions and all this other noise. And I'm like, can we just knock it off? At this point, there is no damage control or climate control or whatever control you need to have. Dude pretty much has to just come out and do press conferences every week until we just start refocusing on football. And this is not football at all. This is not great for the Carolina brand at all. It keeps people talking about you and your school, but you better hope that first game is not a close affair at all. All right. It's time to dig into some weekend parlays and bets, shall we, Max? I'm going to take a deep breath because it has been a full Friday. A full Friday, but it's time to make some weekend picks. What do we got?
Let's just go straight into the main event of the weekend.
The main event.
Game 7, NBA Finals, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Coverage available right here on 99.9 The Fan.
Yes, sir.
Don't miss a moment. Pacers are 7.5-point underdogs on the road at OKC. Lowest total I've seen so far.
Right,
in any of these games at 215.
That is low.
Where are you going with this game? Who are you backing? Are you taking some side with the points?
I'm over on this one. I'm over the 215. That's way low. I mean, this last one was under 200. I get that, but there's no way Oklahoma City comes out flat in this one. And to be honest, there's no way Indiana comes out flat in this one either. 7.5. Yeah, I would take Oklahoma City to win the first half. I'm not crazy about the 7.5 number. I did see it open at like 8.5 this morning, so that's actually come down. I would take the over in this one for me personally, and I've got Oklahoma City at least winning the first half by a good number, whatever that one happens to be.
Yeah, for the first half spread is 4.5.
I'll take that
as
one.
well.
I'll take 4.5.
I think that would make a lot more sense as well.
I like 4.5.
I'll back the Pacers with the points plus 7.5.
Okay.
It's game 7. Like you would hope.
It is a game 7.
They're going to compete, and it's going to be entertaining, and we're going to get all that we dreamed of, all that we hoped and dreamed of, like SGA and Rick Carlisle were saying earlier. We were playing that earlier. It's like everything you hoped and dreamed of is in this game, and either you win or you lose. But
either you win or you lose.
Yes, there's no ties in the NBA Finals.
There's no ties. There's no tying in baseball.
I'll go with the Pacers with the 7.5, and if we combine our picks together, that's a nice little plus 232 parlay.
No, that is not a bad parlay at all.
If somebody, granted, I usually don't give out the best picks, as has been evidenced this week in the ladder challenge, but if you want to get a little bit of action on it, there you go.
Okay, I'll buy that. It's not CFL action by any means, but hey, we'll take that one.
Not quite as exciting.
It is not. Hey, 110-yard fight, baby.
All right, so another big event we've been, going back and forth on. Talked with Daron Vaught about it earlier. College World Series Finals. Coastal Carolina, 26-game win streak going up against LSU, who's going for their 8th title in baseball. Most recently won in 2023 with Paul Skeens.
I know. I don't like this one.
So Coastal Carolina are underdogs.
Yeah.
They're plus 134 both in Game 1 on Saturday, and actually they're now plus 142 to win the series overall, best of 3 series.
That's not bad. If Coastal can stay ahead, Coastal's not a from-behind kind of team. If they can stay ahead, and they did damage in their own regional when they got to host, if they can stay ahead of LSU and keep their bats relatively quiet, I think they'll be okay. But LSU has so much offense. And that game against Arkansas was such a fight that I believe they're going to want to just blow things up on Coastal, like in the most major of ways. So, man, I don't like saying it because I do like me a good Sun Belt, Fun Belt underdog, but I think it's LSU to take the series in this one. And I don't think it's a 3-game series. I think we're done on Sunday afternoon.
Really?
In Omaha. Yeah.
I'm gonna back the shots. I mean, that was one of my picks in the ladder challenge. Somewhat local around in the Carolinas, right?
Yeah, certainly. No, they NC State, Chance Mock now pitching for them. Got Colby, as I remember, from Lumberton playing down there too. So, yeah, no, Coastal's got a good fight in them. There's no doubt about it. I just think LSU's just they definitely got there for a reason, and they plowed through some tough teams. So,
yeah,
LSU to take the series.
I could see it going either way, honestly. But, it's hard to argue with a 26-game win streak. Potential 28-game win streak.
You're right.
Both.
You're right. I've seen some win streaks, though, come to an end. Duke Blue Devils.
Coverage of those games also will be available on our airwaves. Saturday, 7 o'clock. Sunday, I believe it's 1 or 1:30.
2:30.
Oh, 2:30.
2:30, yeah. 1:30 local time.
I was probably looking at the local time.
Yeah, you were looking at that Central Time, Omaha.
It's tricky.
Omaha. Most people stay in Council Bluffs, by the way, if you go to Omaha. Stay in Council Bluffs. It's cheaper.
Now you've got some Omaha travel advice. I hadn't thought of it before.
Just a little teeny bit.
Not too much happening entirely this weekend other than those two. I will throw this one out just because I have a bit of a personal interest in it.
Okay.
Boston Red Sox taking on the San Francisco Giants. First
right.
rematch of these teams since the Red Sox traded Rafael Devers to the Giants
First rematch,
on
so it's
Sunday.
been like 3 days.
So as much as it hurts me, I'm gonna back the Giants here minus 132.
I won't back the Giants. I'm not gonna back the Giants. Hell no, not happening. Not happening. I don't care. The ghost of Carl Yastrzemski could come out and play for Boston. I won't. But no, Boston wins 105-2. Yeah, I'm not a Giants fan at all. Although I do love their baseball park. That's such a gorgeous
It seems like
park.
a nice.
Oh,
a
it's
nice
beautiful.
stadium.
I sat in left field seats. Went for one game there. Saw Giants-Dodgers play. Barry Bonds in left field. Patrol in left field. It's where I ate my first Krispy Kremes, actually. Not in North Carolina.
That's kind of shocking.
I know. They had Krispy Kremes on order at the park in San Francisco, along with garlic fries, by the way. I don't know why people around here don't serve garlic fries. Is there a minor league stadium around here that serves garlic fries? Because I don't think they do at DBAP.
I enjoy them as well. I've never been to San Francisco and had them there, but
they're delicious.
I mean, that seems like a slam dunk combo. I don't know why more people don't have it.
Like garlic fries should be everywhere. There should be a law at minor league baseball parks that there should be garlic fries in play, no matter where you go, along with a big unit hot dog. Of which, if you listen to this program, we talked about big units earlier, wieners and sausages and big units. That was a former thing on the menu at Alice Cooperstown in Phoenix, Arizona. He had a sports bar right next to the baseball park in downtown Phoenix, which no longer exists. But on the menu, a tribute to Randy Johnson, the big unit. It was a big sausage that was a lot longer than a foot long. All right, got Overdrive coming up next. For those of you who don't stick around, I wish you a very, very good weekend. And as always, keep it on the shiny part.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I know the hurricane season came to an end. Another year with a loss to Florida in the Eastern Conference Finals, 2 of the last 3. But it's been a great year, and it's going to be a great summer with all that cap room the Hurricanes have. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, from free agency to trades to the draft. We'll have player interviews, special sit-down with Rod Brindamore that he doesn't even know about yet. He'll do it, don't worry. Just stay tuned to the Canes Corner podcast on YouTube. Search Canes Corner and wherever you get your podcast.
NASCAR Prime is gearing up for the Tricky Triangle at Pocono.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
After 5 decades of racing tradition, it's clear that strategy is king at Pocono.
Finally, some separation between first, second, and third.
3 legendary turns, 3 unique approaches.
Wow, that's close.
Who will tame the triangle this year? Don't miss the Cup Series at Pocono, streaming Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Let's freaking go!
NASCAR, it's on Prime.
Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan with Dr. Brenna Houlihan from Wake Med. She's here to educate us a little bit more on Men's Health Month. Now, we've been talking about colonoscopies and whether someone is considering or not to have colorectal cancer screenings because they're experiencing some irregular symptoms. What are those symptoms that people might see that you would recommend they seek care for?
So some of the symptoms you see is really just change in your bowel habits. You know, you go from being sort of regular one way, it gets skinnier, it changes in consistency. That's something to keep in mind, and as well as bleeding. However, most colon cancers are asymptomatic or without any symptoms for a very long time. So even if you're not having those symptoms, make sure you stay within those screening windows and make sure you're getting those screening colonoscopies, even if you don't have a single symptom.
Wow, really important to pay super close attention to certain things. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Houlihan. And if you have any questions or want to find a provider local to you, you can visit wakemed.org.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start